sure to watch your kids. If any of you folks are wearing hats or glasses, best remove them, because this here's the wildest ride in the wilderness.
There we go. Hello, everybody. Welcome aboard. It is your host and conductor on this wild February 5th, 2026. Welcome aboard. Okay. This is going to be a bit of a dicey one. So, buckle up. Well, we don't need seatbelts here on this train because the train is always safe. Okay, nobody here is going to get hurt on the train. I hope you all are doing well. YouTube is good too. Okay, fantastic. Everything is working well. I hope you guys are staying warm. Everybody seems to be having a little bit of trouble getting all over the roads over here. So, here we go. Let's look at the. Wait. We need the right music for this. Hold on a second. Hold on. Wait a second. Where is? Here we go. American roads, everybody! American drivers, everybody! Wait a second. These are all four-wheel drive vehicles, all-wheel drive vehicles, all over here. But anyway, wasn't the only one. This I saw. This was on when I was watching On Patrol Live last week. It's in Richland County, South Carolina. I hope David, I hope you weren't going to the beach last week, man. I hope you stayed warm. So look at this. Wait, and there he goes. And again. And four-wheel dope. Look at him go. Oh man, but yeah, it's America's frozen over. It's still some places. I believe, if I recall correctly, about 47% of the country, 47.5% of the country was covered in snow last weekend. Or the weekend, I mean, at this point, it doesn't matter. And it's not just the roads, it's also Amtrak as well. Amtrak weather-related cancellations as of February 3rd extended. A little bit of snow, a tiny little bit of snow is affecting the entire country a little bit of snow. I mean, it's not that heavy. It really isn't. Comparatively to some other times. It is not that heavy. Let's see, Chicago, Blue Water eastbound train, westbound, Chicago to Pontiac, Michigan, Wolverines eastbound train. These are the number of cancellations. To Michigan, it seems to be all up in the upper, or to the middle Midwest. Anything out of Chicago seems to be, and Chicago and Amfleet cars, the older ones, are freezing over. Freezing. They don't even have the proper equipment or the insulation to keep the gangway in between the cars to keep them warm or anything like that. Oh yeah. Hold on, here we go. Wait. Where is where is it? Where's that video here? Oh, come on. I know I had this somewhere. Let me see. But yeah, this is going on. Hold on, let me see if I can find that somewhere. Let me see. I know I have it. There it is. There we go. Yeah. Amtrak's basically frozen over. Our train cars are so old, they look like something out of like the 1970s Soviet Union over here. Not that that's much different to what's in reality. American roads are actually worse than Russian roads. We'll have the little bit of a reminder there. There we go. Look at that.
Yo, this is like some Narnia right now.
Look at that. This is Amtrak. This is America's railroads, everybody. Amtrak has been having some good time. This is not a good look. Oh man.
Yo, this is like some Narnia right now.
Yeah. Frozen gangway during the trip from New York City to Albany. Yeah, it's not looking good. Not looking good. So I hope you guys are trying to stay warm, doing everything you can to stay warm. But yeah, the Carolinas seem to get a lot of snow. So we saw Richland County, and a whole bunch of other places down south. But here's Gastonia, North Carolina. Here you are. Truck getting hit by a train. If you could move this over, here we are. Let's see. You just go ahead, fast forward over to. Let me see if I can make this quick, because I want to get the lounge opened up real soon. So I'm going to give myself 30 minutes over here on the clock. Let's go ahead. Yeah. Let's see. Boom. Right there. Yeah. Of course, as always, doesn't matter whether it's a truck or anything else. It's not going to do well against a train. You just can't win against a train. That is not going to happen. Supposedly no injuries, so that's good. Apart from the driver's insurance and the points on their CDL. Yeah, even Miami. 36 degrees. Freezing in some places. On February 2nd. On what Punxsutawney Phil is calling... Hold on a second. It's... Here you are. This will open up over here. Here you are. Punxsutawney Phil predicts an eternity of darkness from which we will never escape. That's yeah. And we'll get into the dark stuff a little later, but I mean, yeah, look, our roads are so bad. Deaths per billions of people, and just deaths in general. I mean, 42,000 dead per year. We're talking about like levels to where India maybe has that many people dying on the roads each year. Probably more, but I mean, talking about a country of 1.5 billion people. I mean, let's talk per capita. But look at this. Has the highest rate of traffic deaths of any developed country, recently fallen behind Russia, which was like the worst. Okay? Remember when people used to look up on LiveLeak Russian dash cam videos? Yeah, that was a thing for a time. Might as well start looking up U.S. Dash cam videos. I mean, look at this. This is here we go. Let's play that one more time. Here we go. Let's just for the funsies here. Here we are. There we go. Yeah, there we are. Why is the insurance so high? Why is the insurance so high? Oh, gee, I wonder why. But yeah. This is not again not a problem over in other countries. They have a priority to build themselves their own infrastructure that's able to work. You're able to drive. Look at how much more snow. Look at how much more snow in this part of Japan over here in Sapporo and Akita, Aomori. Okay, these Sapporo, I believe, if I remember correctly, is the densest city, the most populated city in the world that gets the most amount of snow. We're talking about cities, large cities, over 250,000 people. They get the most snow, even more than some places in Russia. Because they're getting up basically a lake effect on steroids with all that cold air from Russia, from Siberia, coming off over the Sea of Japan. So it's basically an even more concentrated lake effect that they're getting. Look at how much snow they're getting compared to little Amtrak over here. Oh, we got to shut it down. Shut it down. Sorry, can't. The Floridian has been canceled the previous 2 days from this amount of snow. And you have a snow plow. You have all the equipment to go ahead and plow through it. You got more traction in the front over there, but can't. A little bit of snow. That's what I'm saying. Comparatively to other countries, it's still a little bit of snow. A little bit. So why can't the United States? The United States seems to have an issue with prioritizing what's actually needed for the country. Prioritizing a lot of things, okay? Let's get into this real quick, okay? And it's again North America in general. So here's just what happened recently. There was a derailment over in Canada, the Great White North, which is almost at this point they're officially about to declare that they're in a recession. Top economist just recently right now said that Canada is in, and then we have some viewers over in Canada. We feel bad for you guys. So the actual Canadians up there in Canada that are suffering through what is happening to the destruction of Canada in many ways. It's pretty terrible. I feel really bad for you Canadians, but we're still keeping the Stanley Cup. Anyway, but yeah, rail stress from heavy tonnage traffic led to Ontario derailment. TSB reports real quickly from that again. Precision scheduled railroading, which is a method that the railroads have been using for quite some time in order to maximize the amount of profit, the amount of operating revenue from their railroads. So they're trying to push out as much as possible, which with using or fixing up the equipment. Which, by the way, this is kind of speaking of Union Pacific of all now is signing with Wabtec a $1.2 billion deal for locomotive modernizations. It's gotten to the point where now they finally have to go ahead and do it. Or it's said to be the largest locomotive modernization agreement in rail history. Ain't that interesting? The deal follows a $1 billion order in 2022 to modernize 600 locomotives, the last of which is slated to be delivered this year. So, I mean, they're trying. But it's, again, they're leaving it as for the last minute as possible. At $1.3 billion, or sorry, $1.2 billion. Contextually is kind of chump change. I get it, but this is still good. I mean, we'll take whatever little win is possible. Again, it's not about the money. This country has so much money. It's insane. The amount of wealth that this country has. And we'll get into that later. About how this country is just being sold out from underneath. And being taken advantage of. Both its children and its treasure. The nation is being taken advantage of. But, I mean, look, it's you know, at least they're you know, this is at least a little bit of a win. We'll say this is a little bit of a win here. Okay. That they're ordering now, and CPKC is also ordering 135 unit locomotive orders. Okay, so it's at least something. And it's keeping people employed, especially manufacturing jobs that have to stay here in this country. So it's something. Could it be more? Yeah. Is it really a priority? No, not really, because they're okay with having this happen more and more again. Or having their rail from, again, the amount of stress that's going on from precision scheduled railroading to go ahead and keep pushing the infrastructure to the limit, which is broken. The infrastructure in this country is so far behind. And speaking of so far behind, and everybody knows it, okay? Gavin Newsom over here is taking victory laps over what is basically high-speed concrete. Again, they signed on to this back in 2008. It is now 2026. It is 18 years since the proposition for high-speed rail in California was passed. And 18 years later, nearly 20 years later, no trains, not even track. Nary trains nor track. So, I mean, look, and everybody is just clowning on this. This is Governor Newsom's press office. Look at his silly look at his avatar. He put himself a little crown. No kings, but by the way, he's got a crown. He's got a crown. It's funny how the Democrats no kings protest. Wait, hey, no kings. What's going on here? What is this? What's bruh? It's a little sus over here. A little what's going on here? But anyway. Yeah, everybody is clowning on him. It's just terrible. The con continues. 2008, voters promised San Francisco to LA in 3 hours for $33 billion by 2020. $18 billion spent by 2026. Zero track laid. Cost ballooned to $128 billion. Now it's just Merced and Bakersfield, maybe by 2033. Yeah, and everybody is just, oh man. It's just finished too. Look at it. It's everybody's clowning on him. Even that Florida built a 235-mile-long high-speed rail line from Orlando to Miami without spending taxpayer money. The line cost $5 billion, was financed by private capital. California spent $16 billion of taxpayer money and hasn't laid down a single track yet. This is just again, our priorities are not straight over here. And even the California high-speed rail, everybody is ticked off. And they're obviously not reading the room. They're obviously not reading. These are the most like the top replies. Let's go by likes. Everybody is just like, no, this sucks. Here's my public comment. Pause a train that serves almost no one in Bakersfield and Merced and divert that money to fast track LA to San Diego, which is what I've been saying. Have I not been saying this for 10 effing years? You should have built from Los Angeles to San Diego. And I will stand by that, and I will continue to stand by that. I was right. We were right. We were right. That's what they should have done. Useful routes at population centers that can help prove demand. Isn't this project dead already? Stop stealing our money. Sign the taxpayer. Stop scamming us. We are commenting right here. F the high-speed rail. Gavin Newsom's little train of corruption. It's pretty sad. It's pretty sad. This could have been, again. I've said this before, and I think this is starting to become more reality. I think they don't. No, I think. I'm at the point of believing that they don't really want to build the high-speed rail line. That this is just being used as an eternal grift. I mean, think about it. You have the most populous state, the largest taxpayer base, the highest GDP state in the nation. And they keep saying it over and over again. This is the highest GDP in the nation. But if you have that, you can go ahead and say one of the biggest infrastructure projects in the country in the last 100 years to just keep, pitter-pattering it along while you keep skimming off a whole lot from the top. And, of course, $666 million one part of it. I mean, we're never forget the $666 million to the consultants that was paid out. We had to pay out the consultants first. Okay, and I again, just repeating it here. Advanced mismanagement at best and a corrupt racket at worst. Okay? The best way to do it is just keep building something that will eventually never get built, and you just keep the grift going over and over again while making sure all your buddies get paid along the whole entire way. And this is going to go into the whole Epstein thing. We'll talk about that. This is a major part, and everybody is at least the mainstream media that has been basically ignoring the actual problem with the Epstein files and the whole cabal in general that is running this country and stealing not just the lives of our children, but the lives of the so much that has been taken from this country. That even transit advocates that are more left leaning, like here's Andrew Bonneau, or however you pronounce it, but he's also agreeing that this is just done so much damage to pushing mass transit within this country. It's been a negative boondoggle that has just been a black mark on pushing out for mass transit, for advocating for mass transit. This is just a terrible thing. Okay. And of course, everybody in the comments saying, "But this is Reason TV. This is the libertarian network." But yeah, look at this. I'm sorry, you can't argue with that. There is no train. You can't argue with that. This is just such a look at a joke. It's a joke. Look at this. This is what we spent $18 billion on so far in the Central Valley. By the way, of all the parts in California where people are leaving, the Central Valley ranks probably in top and one of the most depressed part of the states. The least unhappy. I remember some surveys saying that. But yeah, this is again, the amount of money being spent. It's now becoming more and more apparent. People are now starting to look for themselves ever since they put out the 2018. Again, this was something that California did their own audit. We don't have to audit California high-speed rail. The audit's already been done. But again, there's no consequences, no changes, which again, overarching theme of the whole Epstein thing, of the waste and fraud in America, of the Somalian fraud going on in Minneapolis, of everything else, of USAID, all this sort of stuff, of decades upon decades of waste, fraud, mismanagement, and theft of the American people. This all comes together. There's no consequences for these people, so hence there will be no changes. And it just keeps continuing on. I mean, it's kind of a joke that, at this point, you might as well run your own high-speed rail. It's just, there you go. Look at this over here. This is kind of funny. Hey, it's one way to start doing high-speed rail. There you go. That's one way to do it. It's kind of a joke, and I mean, everybody has this hope on Trump to get anything done. I mean, now Trump is planning to construct 1 million Trump homes, which I don't know how well those homes are going to be constructed. I don't know. I'm all for home building. I'm all for making sure that, again, it's built in the right place. So reurbanization, not suburbanization. Okay? There's definitely again, there's kind of an issue with people coming back to the cities and trying to get them into the cities. I mean, there's now a whole map that has come out. It's just really quick, and it's kind of apparent for this month, for the month of February. There is a website called peaceandquiet.io, of which you can go ahead and find places that maybe if you want peace and quiet to kind of avoid. Places that, let's say, maybe they have a Church's Chicken, or different types of housing in different places, or violent crimes happening, or payday loans, or Boost Mobiles, or Waffle Houses, or liquor stores. Maybe some place to avoid. It's kind of happening all over the place. It's like, why do people not want to move to the cities? I don't know. Maybe. Let me see. Violent crime, 40, bail bonds, liquor stores, kind of avoid this area over here. And then there's places like Chicago. I was kind of playing around with this map, but Chicago is basically all avoid. Milwaukee, oh man. What's going on in Milwaukee? And then you go down to Miami. It's kind of a mishmash. It's kind of a mess all over the place. Let's see. It kind of takes a while to load. This website just got made, and the coding's not like up to par. I get where they're getting some information from. It's probably from it's come on, no, there was definitely some orange parts in Miami. Come on. Anyway, but you get what I'm saying over here. There's a problem with that, and if we want to build, I want to build the right amount of housing. I want housing to get built. I think we all want housing to be built. Okay, I mean, he's calling it Trump Homes. So everything has to have his name. People saying, well, why don't we build a Trump train at some point? But, I'm hoping that the homes are not this. This is the homes being built in the air. I mean, just look at this. The twigs that are just basically being used for stick housing. And then there's already, and these are not holes already made for windows. These are they're already falling off. The holes, there's holes already in the drywall. That just from these are what the homes are being made of. There you go. These are the bones of the home. That is modern house making in America. It's very sad, and I wish there was better housing. I mean, there seems to be now people that want to get this done. So let's see. Let's see where this goes. But I mean, at the moment right now, it's this was Trump this week. Let the gains begin. Well, sorry, folks. These are the gains. These are the gains. You're loving the gains. This is the golden age. You're loving the golden age. Kind of golden, but you're gonna have to put on. You're gonna have to put on lenses that are red. A little bit of rose tinted gold. You're gonna love it. It's gonna be wonderful. Look at this. Look at it. It's the golden age, folks. I hope you're saving. Hey, remember all the money we saved for the house? Oh man, but yeah, the economy is just it's just a giant casino where the house always wins, and you're the guy. Even if you know that the game is rigged, and if you try to go against the house that's rigged, you're gonna get kicked out. You start counting or playing advantage blackjack, which by the way, just off little side, just real quick. I've been looking at like some reason it just popped up in like my recommended of just like people who counting cards and blackjack, which is it's honestly not that hard, and it's just that's part of a strategy of the game is just remembering what sort of cards are coming in and just understanding the value of different cards. It's the same thing like in chess if you're assigning different values of different pieces. It's the same thing with that sort of card game and strategy. It's not that big of a deal. However, the problem, the reason why the casinos don't like it, is that if you know what you're doing and you're winning, you're going to get kicked out. And you can't say that you're believing in the heart of the cards or anything like that. But this is the same issue that comes to the American market. The same thing that happened at GameStop. Everybody figured out that the whole thing that was going on, that GameStop was being shorted to such a massive degree. And yet those people went to jail. Those little guys went to jail, not the people actually breaking the law. The SEC went ahead and protected the big private equity firm that was shorting GameStop way beyond the ratio of how many stocks they even had available. But this is kind of the problem. Why? Here's a graph here. Wealth by generation. Gen Z, you guys are not even in there. Millennials are just a tiny sliver. But this is the problem. It's that it has nothing to do that we don't have enough money in this country. We have plenty of money. The amount of wealth in this country is absolutely insane. How much wealth that we have available in this country. I mean, to the point that there's a reason why Wall Street is in New York. Which, you know, the world financiers, the people who are running the world, and we'll go a little bit into the Epstein stuff over here. There's some really freaky stuff. I just went into just a couple things of just talking about infrastructure in there, just to see what's going on. But especially Richard Branson, that guy's an absolute disgusting piece of garbage. But we'll look into that there. But the thing is that they'll let's say, the City of London, the people in charge, the cabal, will gladly sacrifice the City of London. Let a Kinzhal hypersonic missile with a nuclear warhead attached to that hit. They don't care. They don't care. Which, funny enough, that could be happening. If you guys have read this came out in the Epstein file. We need to discuss World War III. The investors want to know if we are still planning February 8th, 2026. So I don't know. I hope you guys, speaking of gambling, I hope you guys aren't gambling on the Super Bowl, because maybe nobody wins. It seems that could be quite a possibility.
3 days. Yes, we all have 3 days to live.
So who knows? Who knows? But that's, again, the amount of wealth that this country has, especially post World War II. There is so much wealth tied to this country. And there's a reason why all these scams and everything else is being targeted towards this country. There's a reason why that there's suitcases of piles of cash being flown out of Minneapolis out to Somalia. There's reasons why all these bills, billions of dollars, they just get rubber stamped. All these pork barrel bills with billions upon billions of dollars to go ahead and they're not funding the government, they're funding everybody else's government. And we'll go into that. But the problem isn't the wealth. The problem is where that wealth is being distributed. And it's the problem is that the wealth distribution in this country is so lopsided. There isn't sort of ladder, which if we were told that all of a sudden, you keep going to college and you get a job and you climb up the corporate ladder and you do all this, that doesn't exist anymore. And if it does, it's very rare, and you've been inflated out of the market that you can't even afford anything. So, and the country, just infrastructurally, has basically stopped building. And we talked about the electricity in this country, the electricity capacity. Well, here you go. Here's the electric grid, electric generation by major source in 1950 to 2023. You see where things start to just stop. It stops right there in by like 2008. That's it. Nothing has really started from there. Basically, little to no nuclear. Everything's been coal or natural gas. You have a big boost in renewables, but that's not really doing anything much. But there you go. That's the graph over there. The country has stopped building. Why? Because the cabal in charge does not care about the real world. I mean, they've even mentioned it in their own emails, and I don't have to go into so much detail. Let the other channels do it. We're talking about our country over here. They don't. The real world is that they don't deal with that. There's literally emails of them just talking about how they're taking advantage of different markets of commoditizing. Let's say, for example, they were talking about freight forwarding, that they're just going ahead and speculating and commoditizing freight forwarding and just making money off of that. They're not actually doing anything. They're not actually making anything. But this is what happens in this country. And by the way, here we go. Let's just really quick on the Epstein file. And some of these things are disappearing. I remember when I searched Branson, as in Sir Richard Branson. Remember that whole thing that thankfully Brightline definitely dodged that bullet, because this would have been really bad to have. And officially it was because that the Virgin company wasn't making enough money, and they did. We'll get into that, but just real quick, there was 1,200 results on this the other night. It's gone down to 877. I've heard some other things have been also disappearing from here. But here's one sick thing. These are the people who are in charge, by the way. These are the people who are in charge. Here we are. To Richard Branson from redacted. Half the things are redacted. Regarding Mr. Epstein. Jeffrey will come along with Dean, Greg, and blank, the 2 Russian girls. I wonder what the 2 Russian girls are there for. I mean, are they just there to party? I'm pretty sure what kind of they're having just a nice a nice party, right? That's what it is. How many people could we have? All names, please. I'm asking him to arrive at 1:30. I mean, this is crazy. Jeffrey. Hello, Mr. Branson. Jeffrey looks forward to visiting you for lunch on your island tomorrow. Jeffrey would like to know if he may bring along Bill Gates' assistant. And he's in here a lot, by the way. So another sicko. By the way, remember the Necker Island of Richard Branson is not that far from Little St. James. Not that far, but there's no trains to Little St. James. No trains go to Little St. James. And they're not going to build any train. But here you go. Virgin sues partner over claims over its brand value. So Brightline says that, you know what, the Virgin brand doesn't really have any sort of real brand value. This is during the pandemic. We want to go ahead and cut ties with you guys. But of course, because Sir Richard Branson is part of the club, so he wins the lawsuit. Because again, it's a big club and you're not in it. Not even Brightline is in this club. Or Fortress Investments. And I did look about Wes Edens and Fortress Investments. There actually is one email. They were looking to get into that, but not really. So yeah, they won that lawsuit. But here we go. Let's just keep going real quick. Let me see. Now, the only thing I found about Brightline was that there was some victim, I guess, of the Epstein. Again, this is the pedophilia and everything with the PDF, whatever people want to call it, because YouTube is censoring. I don't care. I don't give a shit at this point. This is reality. This is real world stuff of what's going on. I mean, the real world is looking more and more like Berserk every day. Okay? You think this is just in a dark fantasy novel or a dark fantasy graphic novel? I mean, is this not what these people do? This is the kind of stuff that we're in. These are the barons, the robber barons that are running this world. Okay, that basically have more or less sacrificed, like, you know, children to demons and all this sort of stuff. This is the kind of stuff they're dealing with. And again, I've been looking at this stuff for the last 10 years, ever since the 2016 election, when they started going through the Podesta emails on WikiLeaks, and that was pretty disturbing. But I mean, again, they were from here. The only thing about Brightline is that they were a victim, I guess, was coming to one of the court cases down in Miami, and she asked to come via Brightline. That's basically it. And this is just from the FBI's victim services. They basically just give monetary support to go ahead and support the victims to go ahead navigating the aftermath of the crime and criminal justice process with dignity and resilience. So the FBI paid for redacted, no full name, but apparently a woman and her daughter, mom and daughter will need someone to transport from train to hotel. That's basically it. Nothing really sorted on Brightline at all. Just the FBI was just using them to transport. But here was something. May 2012, Brian is driving for his investment banker, started Fortress Investment Group. Robert Kaufman, just curious if you know him or his partners, Wesley Edens or Randall Nardone. No reply. So I guess it was just from redacted to Jeffrey. And again, this guy was tied to everybody. There's a lot of ties. That's the problem. It's not just about the problem with the left is that they're going, oh, Trump is in this. or from the right. Well, Bill Clinton is. No, that's not the problem. The problem is that this implicates the entire system. And there's not going to be any consequences for anybody within this whole entire thing, because it's a problem. There's no consequences, a lack or no consequences at all. There are not going to be any changes. Because why? It's like this, it's like an ugly Christmas sweater. And this guy is one big ugly thread that kind of goes all around this whole entire sweater. And once you start unraveling that entire thread, the whole entire sweater, it's kind of wearable, but it's going to look ugly. It's going to fall apart. It's going to be showing your flab. It's going to be flipping apart all over the place. That's the problem with this, is that it ruins the entire integrity of the entire modern political structure. That's kind of the issue, and that's kind of the problem. One last funny thing, even Epstein's cabal. And when we talk about cabal, you guys can figure out what that is. I don't have to mention it on this channel. This is the only thing about high-speed rail I found. This is from April 2009. And I guess, again, not a priority because he didn't respond to this one. Hey, Jeffrey, I know the chart said that Bombardier is garbage. even they know that Bombardier is garbage. But Obama announced the biggest high-speed rail project in the U.S. history. Russia has $70 billion to spend. China, $100 billion. 3 manufacturers, Siemens, Alstom, and Bombardier. It might take 3 years, but you will see. Remember, Alexander spent 4 years at 3 with less liquidity. Just the thought, Jonathan. Okay, so this is how bad the FBI is. So we know it's a Jonathan. I don't know Jonathan who. Okay, and I can't. You can't actually, let me see, copy and paste on whoever it is. They fixed that from the last time. Because the last time they just put black bolded marker over it and didn't really do anything. But this is the problem with our current elite, okay? Because unlike the elites of the last century, of the 20th century, particularly the beginning of the 20th century, the elites 100 years ago were building these. They were building stuff like this, the cathedral. This is what they were building for the youth of this country. They were building massive projects to enrich the youth, to enrich this nation. Okay? That's what the captains of industry were doing 100 years ago. The robber barons of this age are building these sorts of temples. And God forbid what they're doing to the youth in there. So I don't want to hear that, the Rockefellers and this and that, or the Carnegie or Mellon. Here you go. This is what, at least those guys, at least some sort of patriotism toward this country, had some sort of love and respect for the people of this nation, for the history and everything else that this nation stands for. This is what they left and built. This is what our elites 100 years ago left and built for this nation. And it's not just, this is just one example. Cathedral of Learning versus a Temple of Degeneracy. Degeneracy and blackmail. And we have to hear from these elites that the elites back then were so bad or whatever. It sounds like it's projection. It's honestly projection. This is why we can't build anything in this country. Because instead of spending the capital or the prioritization to help this nation and its children that are reeling here. They're having this is a massive issue and a problem that our youth in this nation cannot be able to live their lives. They're being economically kneecapped at the very least, and at the very worst, God forbid what's happening to some of the other youth. The elites back then enriched this nation and its children. The elites of today are stealing from this nation and its children. That is the massive difference that is happening. And I'm sick and tired of saying that this is just there's no fixing the system. There's no reason why there's no consequences. There's a reason why after 2016, the election, the chance of lock her up started to become tampered down, started to become a mere whisper until it disappeared from the lexicon of the MAGA community. We're not making America great again, because the people who are leading the MAGA community, or the people in charge don't care for that. Okay? And that goes for this guy too. He is not going to put anybody in prison for the theft of this nation. He's playing along with it. I don't have any sort of, I'm talking about from someone who voted for the man 3 times. Okay? But let this be a lesson that there's no political solution to this. I mean, this is just a little tidbit of stuff. I mean, there's a lot more sordid stuff, and you guys can go ahead and look into all this. But this is the reason why this country is this is why we've fallen behind Russia in terms of our roads, in development of roads. It's off. I'm sorry, guys. I know I'm a little bit over time, but this needs to be talked about. Okay, this is how bad we are. Okay, and the most recent bill to go ahead before the impending shutdown that was, I guess, not going to happen. Are the billions of dollars going to funding infrastructure? Are there billions of dollars of $40 trillion of debt and climbing? Is anything of that going to help the youth of this nation? Help them get more homes, or more affordable homes, or medical coverage? I've been dealing with that now. Golden age, service economy. You know why it's a service economy? Because you can make up stuff. You can go ahead and make up a whole bunch of numbers in accounting. And all they're doing with this country is just BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street. They're trading companies like Pokemon cards. They're speculating on the price. That's the whole country is just turned into speculation and gambling. That's it. That's the GDP of this nation. That's what's being used. The wealth of this nation has been used instead of actually building up our manufacturing, building up our families, building up our youth. It's being used by trading cards for the elite to go ahead and use and line their own pockets. And when you put something in a 401k, it's just more money that you're putting into the casino that they're just going to go ahead and use. That's it. That's the problem. That's the massive issue. Let me see. $5 billion for cash benefits to healthcare, daycare, job programs to refugees on the taxpayer dime. So again, more leering centers. More leering centers. $350 million to fund the CIA's branch of the State Department that propagandas and stabilizes the globe, has a particular interest in censorship and attacking conservative media outlets. $3.3 billion to the greatest ally. Maybe we have to change the greatest ally's name to infrastructure, or maybe put that on a map. Just make it infrastructure. Maybe they'll start funding it. I don't know. Maybe we'll start getting funding for infrastructure. Oh wait, I'm sorry. No, an extra $500 million. Again, the money's not the problem in this country. That's what what. There you go. That was the beginning of the California House Bureau. Basically, Brightline. That's the funding of Brightline. Gone. Snap. That's it. Gone. Gone. Gonna be more missiles. Or not for us. Nothing for us. And $1.5 billion for Egypt, which is basically funding for greatest ally. There we are. And the Jordanians, $2.1 billion. Do we get any of this? This is what wait. 3.35. So that's 5. It's 4.2. 1.5. That's basically $7 billion. Gone. $7 billion could have funded all Amtrak to make high-speed rail in the Midwest. Could have funded the Gateway Project. That's it. That's the money for the Gateway Project. That's half the money for the Gateway Project within a matter of 48 hours. Gone. That's it. It's there's the money. $700 million for foreign aid. We can keep going on and on and on and on. There we go. Let me see. Are we going to freeze the funds for daycare fraud? Nope, that's not happening. Block amendment to stop warrantless surveillance of Americans in the foreign. Again, it goes on and on. The whole structure of this country is not made to serve its people. It's made to serve these elites. Sorry. These guys who you're told to in school were all bad and whatever. The guys who were telling you that, by the way, McGraw-Hill, we looked at that last week. Who owned McGraw-Hill who wrote all those textbooks that we all learned from and everything like that. Yeah, telling us that these guys who built this were bad, but don't worry, the guys who own McGraw-Hill are going over here. Okay, they're ordering pizza and hot dogs and all that sort of stuff. By the way, here's just a little funny thing just to get your mind. Here you go. When you're ordering $65,000 worth of cheese pizza and hot dogs to be flown in, and the broke without a 33rd degree of masonry says get wigs. Yeah, that's from Eyes Wide Shut, which, by the way, that's a movie you watch once. It's a very sordid movie. Okay, it's kind of if you guys think that American Psycho was pretty sordid, this is like 10 times worse than American Psycho. But it's kind of one of those movies you just see once. It's like, okay, this is and then the reason why again it's a lot of weird stuff. That's this is what it is. All right, guys. It's just like I said, yeah, this country is been crashing down pretty quickly. You can look at it as a graph by Chuck E. Cheese. Look at 2011, 2019, 2021. There you go. That's how you can measure this country's status, is by the looking at Chuck E. Cheese's by the years. All right, guys. Yeah. Look, it's I'm just trying to be real with you guys. We're not going to see, the only way we're not going to see anything from the federal government in terms of massive spending for infrastructure. Okay? And the Democrats are not going to go ahead and do the same thing, because again, they all see what's going on, and here's kind of a meme. Here, without explaining it, I don't have to go ahead and say what's going on in here. But yeah, it's both sides are in on this, and that's gonna happen. One side is just gonna keep stringing you on. They'll throw a little bit of crumbs to you here and there, and they're gonna throw more crumbs. If the Democrats win, Wall Street wins. If the Republicans win, Wall Street wins. Does America win at any point when any of these parties win? No. All right, I'm done talking. All right, let's get people up on here, because this is nobody wants to talk about it in the mainstream media. So I mean, it's again, the whole point, as sordid as everything else is going, the main issue with the whole Epstein files for the last, and going back all the way to Pizzagate or whatever it is, of 10 years, is that this country, this nation, and its children are for sale. That's what it's about. It's not about anything else. Anything else was going on. Everything else is going on. Terrible. But the main issue is that the nation and its children are for sale. And they're not here to build anything. They don't have any sort of patriotism or love for this country. They don't care. And that's the thing. All right, before we get into the speakers over here, let's go ahead and see what's going on. All right, let's see. The comments here have been pretty crazy today. Cannot make it to Discord today. Oh, sorry, Adam. Hope you're doing well. A2R Gaming, David Jackson, Heartless Fiend. Good evening, everybody. 250 RAM. I wonder when the new line from Wake Forest to Richmond is going to be operating. That's going to be kind of interesting. I don't know. It's any case. There we go. 250. I know that it's been going on since the Reagan administration. Yeah, this is Anyway, whenever Brightline West will be doing much better than California High-Speed Rail for sure. I don't know. And Brightline West is also delayed that now to 2029. Honestly, if we really wanted to see something, if the administration wanted to do something cool and patriotic for the 2028 LA Olympics, they would just go ahead and fund the whole project and just say, hey, get it done by 2028. Have it done and open by the Olympics. Get it done. But that's, again, not a priority to them. California high-speed rail is building Gilroy 2040, Palmdale 2050. Yeah, it's just never happening at this point. It's very sick and sad. One more year for track laying. Now, the track laying should have happened 10 years ago. 250 rent sounds like a triple down for the economy, but I end up being like a drip, 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 or a leaky faucet at the end. Yeah, the leaky faucet. We're at the leaky end of the faucet. I mean, speaking of it, the country is not circling the drain. We're circling the pipes. We've already gone down the drain. Okay? When JFK got assassinated. That was when it started to go down and down the sink. I think after the end of Pax Americana, when this country left Afghanistan in August of 2021, which in my mind remains probably one of the worst months, the worst month in my life. It's that was the end. Just running out of Afghanistan, the war that we've been in for 20 years. For what? Trillions of dollars wasted, lives lost. For what? To basically have another repeat of Vietnam times 10. Sounds like 2008 and 2009 all over again. That's what it reminds me of. Yeah, I think we're gonna see an even worse version of 2008 and 2009. Generation, we've seen it. 9899. We understand the amount of money that we're saving. I can't keep it. Yeah, everybody's hurting. And even just among the boomers, and we've talked about this because there's some boomers that have also been kind of left behind in this. Okay, there's also massive wealth disparity between the boomer generation as well, where half of them didn't save up for or couldn't been able to save up to retirement, and a lot of them are about to go homeless because, well, sad thing is that a lot of them haven't even kept up with their family, or they've been pretty terrible towards their kids. It's a lot more common than people think. Okay, and thank God every day if you have boomer parents who are very good to you and everything like that. It's a rarity. It's a rarity, but I hear 7 out of 10 times the opposite. Okay, so they're gonna end up either alone or they're gonna be taken over to a healthcare or assisted living facility. Well, they'll just be again being used for healthcare fraud and having most of it. And that's another real thing. And they even made movies about it too, as a joke or something like that, as if it's funny. You see, don't forget the bank, motorbike, and Kmart is the same way. Let's see. Yeah, okay. Let's go ahead. Let me see. Waiting for Brightline to come to St. Augustine, hopefully. Yeah, that would be good. All right, guys. Let's again. All right, we went through the YouTube comments as promised. Let's go ahead and open up the lines over here. Let's let everybody in. Let's have a chat. Welcome aboard.
Hey. All right. That snow we had Saturday was pathetic. That was one of the most. No, like the snow was so pathetic. We couldn't even build snowmen. We could not even do snow angel. All we could do was just do snowball. Fuck.
You guys get the powdery snow?
Dude, technically, here, Jane, we were able to make snowball for the first 2 hours, and then after that, we were not able to. And then, not even a couple hours after snow came down, like when the sun came up by that afternoon, by Sunday afternoon, 95% of the snow was gone.
Oh, man.
Already.
Yeah, that sucks. It's again the snow is enjoyable. Unfortunately, other people can't know what to do when they get snow. So, let me see the pictures you got over here, so we can showcase it, everybody.
Yeah,
that is pretty.
Right, it look beautiful sunrises, but. Like the snow, I went trackside that day. I only caught 2 trains, so that was a bust. But the thing is that I would say that it was one of the worst snowfall we had in a long time.
Yeah.
Also, because 2 days ago was a train wreck anniversary here in South Carolina. Do you remember the Amtrak train that had the head-on collision with the CSX a couple of years ago?
Yeah.
About 7 years ago?
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah. Yeah, the anniversary to that was a couple of days ago. Look right here.
Let's go
here,
ahead.
like, with the silver. We did hit the 7-year anniversary of that.
Here we are. Okay, 7 years ago, never forget the unthinkable happened in Casey, South Carolina. Never what happened to the Silver Star. It's just sad that this sort of stuff is just normalized in this country. It's like, oh yeah, another accident or another something that shouldn't be happening. To the point that we have to be worrying about passenger rail running with freight rail at the same time, and then there's not, you have a small lapse in miscommunication there, and yeah, that happens. Pretty terrible.
Oh, speaking of that, I got a gopher, or not gopher, but a meme, like a groundhog meme. It's a funny one.
Okay.
Like, exactly, in a comic, it's super funny.
Let me see. There you are. I guess that's 6 more weeks of model railroading. Yep, saw my shadow. Oh, man. Hey, yeah, it's one way to stay nice and cozy inside. Why not? Gotta enjoy your snow days.
But, yeah. Also, I got something else super funny with train memes. So, right here.
All right.
I just said that.
And then move on to Minor Tree, and then Genesis if he wants to speak, and then we'll go from there. You swank around with your vandalized hoods, pretending you're as good as me. Actually, we're better. Oh man.
But also I got some short line news from Pacific Northwest.
Okay.
And I sent the article, and so let's get some good news in.
Let's get some good news. Yeah. All right.
I just sent it in live chat.
Yeah. This I did see. Which, again, we're gonna see more innovation, guys, from the smaller companies, from the more local companies, the Class 2s, the Class 3s, the short lines. That's where you're gonna see more innovation. You're not gonna really see it from Union Pacific. You're not gonna see it from Norfolk Southern, and you're not gonna see it from CSX anymore. That's just not gonna happen. They'll go ahead and throw in a couple billion here and there to go ahead at the last minute to update their trains, but that's about it. But here we are. Pacific Northwest Short Line looks to restart tourist train. The Port of Penn, or I'm not quite sure how that's actually pronounced or how the locals pronounce it. We're just going to say Port of Penn. Washington State has secured $1 million grant in an effort to revive excursion service on the Penn Oriole Valley Railroad. POVA owns and operates on former Milwaukee Road and Great Northern Trackage between Meadowline Falls, Washington and Sandpoint, Idaho, where it interchanges with BNSF Railway. Began operations in 1979. Blah, blah, blah. Okay, so there we go. So the $1 million grant will be to fund the first phase of the project to repair approximately 5 miles of track between Usk and Kusik. The port is partnering with the Kalispel tribe of Indians to develop passenger service and anticipates hiring 6 to 10 people once excursions begin. Officials are hopeful that the service can start sometime in 2028. So there you go. That's something.
But funny thing is that part of the people we're working with are Native Americans. So yeah, for people that say rail killed all Native Americans, they can go stick their little ass, because this right here proved otherwise. Am I right?
Yeah, it's a whole different world. How they're getting treated now. So I mean, it's not like how it was back then. So yeah, and even then, I mean, a lot of stuff is very much overblown, and particularly with the war between the resources of the usage of buffalo. I mean, everybody was killing them. You had, of course, the Americans, the European Americans who were here, shooting them off of the sides of trains. But you also had a lot of the Indian tribes going ahead and running off buffalo off of cliffs. Like they would just go ahead, round them all up and herding them through horses, and then push them off of cliffs where hundreds and thousands of them would just die off like that every year. So it was a fight for resources on both sides of it. It was not one side or the other going ahead and trying to. That's what happens when you have a clash of cultures and people. That's just what happens.
Here, Jane, I can say it, but yeah, it does have because I'm part Blackfoot and Cherokee Indian, so I can at least say yes, this actually happened.
Yeah. Alrighty.
But it's crazy. Also, a short line railroad is suing Union Pacific.
Yeah, I just had that on there. Let's look at that, and then let's go to Minor Tree. And if anybody else in the audience wants to join on in, raise your hand and come on in. But yeah, let's look at this. Lawsuit claims Union Pacific short line blocked grain moves via alternate route. So grain company Colorado Pacific said interchange fee prevents westward traffic. So this is what happens. And there you go. That's another part. Which, by the way, now the Republicans in Congress. This is another article that I saw this week. We'll put it up as well. Here you go. House Republicans urging caution by the Surface Transportation Board in review of Union Pacific Norfolk Southern merger, because Union Pacific is saying, well, this is not going to cause a monopolization, or it's not going to cause a disruption in traffic to anybody else. Well, there you go. Look at this. A lawsuit claiming a blockage of grain. There you go. This is what happens. This is exactly what's happening. Colorado Pacific Railroad and Western Grain, two subsidiaries of Soloviev Group, this week filed a federal court suit that alleges Union Pacific Railroad and Regional Railroad Kansas and Oklahoma have conspired to prevent westbound grain moves over the Colorado Pacific. The plaintiffs claim that Union Pacific and Watco are using $500 per car interchange fee to effectively prevent farmers located on the K&O from shipping export grain west over Colorado Pacific to an interchange with Union Pacific and BNSF Railway. So there you go. That's exactly what's going on. Filed in District Court of Kansas. Let's see how long it takes. That they did this back. This is 2019, altered a 1997 lease agreement to impose the interchange. So yeah,
Yep.
this is the type of stuff that's already
And here,
has been going on with Union Pacific. This is
And
nothing new.
All right, here's the kicker. The Tennessee Pass. And one of the reasons why they don't want to reopen the Tennessee Pass, because if they reopen the Tennessee Pass, it's going to be harder for them to run a monopoly,
Yeah.
They want to run everything through the Moffat Tunnel to keep the monopoly going. Like, bring back the Tennessee Pass in Colorado. It's that simple. Like, force them to reopen that line, because it'll make it harder for them to run a monopoly. Heck, force them to sell to a different railroad. Like, give it to another railroad and they'll reopen it. It'll give, Union Pacific some competition in that region. Because, let me be honest, Union Pacific been running a monopoly there since 1996.
Yeah.
Am I right?
Yeah, and this is all part of it. Massive consolidation of these larger class ones is just going to lead to more monopoly. At this point, they're kind of already monopolized because all their shares are more or less all owned by BlackRock, Vanguard, State Street, which all own shares in themselves. I mean, BlackRock we can see because it's a publicly traded company. Vanguard is one of the darker ones because none of their information is really public on who actually runs Vanguard. So that's kind of another one that we can't really figure out too much of. I'm pretty sure somebody has done some more research into Vanguard, but BlackRock is kind of like the big baddie that everybody knows of. Speaking of, we were just looking at Genesis over here committing a federal crime on Roblox, running along the railroad tracks. So don't think we didn't see you there, Genesis. We saw that. Alrighty, Minor Tree. You're up.
Yeah. You can hear me?
Yep, loud and clear.
Okay, the first thing, going back to the California high-speed rail issue of them taking so long and it's costing so much money, but when I open up a popular mechanics magazine from the 1950s and 60s, I was promised that by the 1990s, early 2000s at the latest, I would have moon hotels. Where's my moon hotel?
Yeah, sorry. The priority changed to building temples in Little St. James. Sorry, no moon hotels.
Oh, come on! I was gonna go on a weekend adventure there.
Oh,
Granted, it was gonna take me 3 days each way.
Autocorrect when you start saying you're asking for 3.5 billion to make a moon hotels. Sorry, did you mean 3.5 billion to Greatest Ally? It's just gonna autocorrect you. Sorry,
$3.5 billion to Greatest Ally. It's 3.5 billion to 5 different countries around each other, so they can buy all the missiles and point it at each other.
Exactly. There you go. It's the same thing. Yeah, it's not just when you say it's 3.52 to 1. It's all of them. They're all in the same area. They're just basically giving them racketeering money, protection money to say, hey, if as long as you don't shoot missiles into that country, we'll keep funding you, but just make sure not to do it. But anyway, yeah.
If we're funding them and they still hate us, they can hate us for free.
I mean, why it makes no sense. Like, these countries are supposedly, this is we're the great Satan to most of these countries, but we're funding them all this money, and then they'll go ahead and the next weekend they'll start burning American flags, or they have been for the last 20 years. And now we're about to start another World War III. With another country that we did give a whole bunches of pallets of money to a couple of years ago in a previous administration. So I mean, it's like, what's the whole point of this? Why are we giving any of these people any sort of a bit of money, and then we're just gonna go ahead and start a war with them? This is ridiculous.
Yeah.
About China.
The best way of describing it is, don't accuse them of being intelligent.
Oh man, yeah.
So-
No, it's all rigged, and we all know what's owning this country, and why we can't get anything built, because that's the money to be used to go ahead and fund infrastructure, to fund the nation's no, we can't have that happening. God forbid we go ahead and forgive student loans. We have to go ahead, another $1 trillion. No, we know where another $1 trillion needs to go to. It's not to the nation's students. Not to the nation's students, but anyway.
Yeah, I can go on a 5-hour rant on student loans by itself, but the worst part about it is when you look into it, it was because everyone's like, we need to make higher education much more attainable for more people. When did that happen? The 1980s, about the time my parents were going through university, and they ended up paying for a 4-year degree the same of what essentially I was having to pay to go to community college. That's in one lifetime.
It's insane, and they just facilitated basically giving a free pass to all the financial the educational institutions to just keep endlessly inflating the price of college, because if it becomes a service that, hey, the government is going ahead and funding it infinitely, so you're getting it funded through state taxes, you're getting it funded through local taxes, you're getting it funded through federal taxes and grants and everything else, but yet you still have to go ahead and pay for it later in the form of a loan that is also now being used as collateral and being traded around on Wall Street. It's the reason why a whole bunch of these loan institutions have been either closed down, shut down, or they're just cycling it through, because they're also gambling on the loans as well and using that for collateral in their own portfolio. So yeah, it's just the whole grift just keeps going.
Yeah, and the worst part is they've run out of young people, since a quarter of them died before they were even born, and not including those who decide not to have children. So it's basically going to end this generation no matter what.
Yeah,
the question is,
it's
which
terrible.
year is it
Yeah,
gonna be?
it's one of the worst statistics I ever heard. A quarter of Gen Z didn't even make it out of the womb. They were just basically eradicated before they were even born. It's pretty disturbing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
but
hard
to
at
go
that
more
part.
lighter notes,
What-
after the
Isolation
previous,
is-
Let's go
yeah,
go
after
ahead,
the
David.
previous stream, what?
It pretty messed up that 1/3 of my generation is already dead.
Yeah, it's
Like, what the heck?
it's
Yeah,
real dark
but-
stuff. Go ahead, Minor Tree.
Yeah, and after the previous stream, I got to witness the aftermath of some guy who decided to be a moron and race the train, and you can pull up that picture for everyone else to see. Because I don't know if you know this or not, but if you race a train and you tie, the wind goes to the train every single time.
Yeah, it's just what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I couldn't get any closer, but let's just say the insurance company is going to probably write that car off, and they're going to need a sledgehammer and 2x4 to knock out the dent in the train.
Yep. All right.
Sure.
Dump truck temporarily back to work. Tired of getting my class A. Okay. Hope you're doing good, buddy. If you want to just jump in for a little bit, you're more than free. You're welcome to. If you just want to sit there, studying an ELDT. Okay. Best of luck to you, man. So you can get that and get that paper. Yeah. This all of us guys, like basically the plan at this point is just keep ourselves as healthy and as financially stable as possible. So yeah, it's oh man, look at that. Try to race the train. Yeah. This is what happens, guys, when you try to cross over the train. Yeah, that car is done. I don't know if that guy survived or not.
I'm pretty sure the fire department can use that as training, or at least a burn car for the next firehouse opening.
Oh man.
It's slightly used.
Dimitri, I got three funny train memes for you.
All right, let's look at them. All right. Yeah, and look at all the work that dump trucker has to do to get a CDL over here, and then all of a sudden, people just fly on over from Punjab or Hyderabad or wherever else and just get a free CDL from Gavin Newsom, and then they turn into 40,000 ton missiles on the road. So just be careful, guys. But unfortunately, dump trucker has to go through all this to go ahead and get a CDL. It's kind of that's the whole thing. It just it sucks. I get you, man. Keep doing what you got to do, man. We're behind you. You got to do what you got to do. Alrighty.
Yeah, but Dimitri, look at the dream memes. They're funny.
All right, the three knees.
One-
I see
one is
Renell over in the
from
chat. If
Carolina.
Renell, come on, we can have you on board here as well. Let's see. All right. So we're supposed to tailgate on the train. Oh man, the Caboose Railroad. I'm pretty sure that was that's a real name, but there you go.
Yep, it Gamecocks.
Oh, man.
It's the Gamecocks.
Yeah, yeah, the
Football
Gamecocks, yeah,
team.
the football team, yeah. It's they didn't think too far ahead in the future how that name was going to be used before, but there you go.
Well,
You're too fat. You need to
you forget one
exercise.
thing. You're gonna go
top and hat.
You're gonna go outside. You're gonna go down to the road, and you're gonna pull your mind out of the gutter.
Oh man.
Oh, by the way, you see the Norfolk Southern one?
There you go. Oh, and Sir Toppin Hat's on gear by the. There you go. He's the goose is loose. Oh man, let me get the other one here. Let me see. Here you go, guys. By the way, guys, here is 405 deadlift today that I did. I'll just go ahead and show you. Speaking of getting fit, guys. Here, look, everything is out of control, but at least, guys, the very little thing that you can do is just go to the gym and start getting fit. If the government doesn't want to build the railroads, well, I'll go ahead and just build it myself. Then at this point, I'm physically capable of doing it now. Here you go. And that's on an axle bar. It's a lot harder than just a regular bar. So there you go. I probably could have done more, and I had it a little bit off the side, but just held it for a good bit. There you go. And didn't drop it. Nice and slowly on the ground on that decline. There you go. So.
By the way, Dimitri, another day at Norfolk Southern. You seen that meme?
Let's get another day at Norfolk Southern. Let's see. Hold on. Star Force 97. I actually need to go to France to do that since I might get arrested and deported by ICE. Oh man, I'm going to disguise myself so I can get the benefits for free. Yeah, it's like that's the sick thing. It's like, you can go ahead and come over all of a sudden and get everything for free, and it's ridiculous. All right. Anyway, Wolverine to Chicago. Let's go over here. Whoa, what's it doing in the middle of the Michigan? Wolverine to Chicago, 0 miles an hour, 4 minutes late at Hammond, Indiana. Updated 10:46. The Wolverine, the passengers, we're taking on water, Mr. Squidward. Oh wait, no, that's Mr. Krabs. We're taking on water, Mr. Squidward.
I know. I just found that
What?
one. I said, "Well, this got to be worth it."
Okay, what? Either something's wrong with the mapping app over here, or the Wolverine is underwater.
Under the sea.
Oh man.
Well, we talk about flying trains. Why not floating trains?
Let me see. Dump trucker, look up peace and quiet. Yeah, we did. We actually looked up peace and quiet over here, guys. I don't know what's going on with the Miami mapping over here, but yeah, when it comes to it, we talked about this before. It's like we'd all love to go back to the cities. The problem is that people don't want to go to the cities because they don't want to end up like Arena Zarutska. Which by the way, the MTA is now has a reserved seat for Rosa Parks on all their buses, by the way. So there's one less seat for everybody else on the bus. I mean, okay, I get it, I understand, but I mean, and everybody in the comments is like saying like, why? So you're gonna tell whoever sits there to go to the back of the bus? I was like, yeah, because we know the exact best way to honor Rosa Parks is to deny someone a seat on the bus. Everybody is clowning on the MTA over here. When you voted for free New York City busing and all you got was a reserved seat for someone else, it's kind of a joke. This is all just performative nonsense to go ahead. Meanwhile, in reality, you gotta be careful where you sit on the bus because you'll get stabbed, you might get shot, or you might get burnt alive. Either of which has all happened in the last couple of months in the United States on public transit, which is probably why people now just kind of want to disappear from the cities because they want to find peace and quiet. So now there's a map showcasing of where you may find peace and quiet. Something is wrong with the indexing over here. No, because I was looking all over Miami. There was a whole bunch of like weird not weird spots, but like spots. It's like, okay, like right south of the Hard Rock Stadium. You don't want to go to Miami Gardens. Not a great place to be. Definitely avoid as much as possible. But yeah, it's definitely some place over here. Oh, Palaka. 163rd Street in North Miami Beach. Yeah, I can kind of see why it has a void on. Anyway, but there you go. Yeah, that's kind of.
Yeah, you've got peace and quiet up. Now pull up the Waffle House index. We gotta see whether or not it's even safe to go outside.
I mean, look, I love Waffle House. The last time I was there, I didn't even care about the clientele over there. I was ticked off that my usual meal that I would get at Waffle House had doubled in price in the last 2 years. That was like the whole reason I go to Waffle House.
Time to riot.
I'm done right now. I'm done with Waffle House. That was it. It ruined my childhood. I used to go to Waffle House all the time as a kid. It's sad. Oh man.
It's that meme that came up a few years ago. It's like, what radicalized you? Well, the $5 footlong is now $16.48.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, it's terrible. Right. Absolutely just appalling what's going on.
Oh, now you're stealing my memes.
All right.
Sorry, minor. I had to show your meme off.
If you're cold, they're cold. Let the WMATA 3000 series inside. I've been on one of the. I'm surprised that these things are still up and running.
I know.
All right. So basically, when America is deindustrializing, in the Dominican Republic, we're industrializing right here in the Caribbean right now, which is crazy.
Oh man. Okay, yeah, we can hear you loud and clear, Minor. Yeah. It seems that there you go, guys. Latin America is building better infrastructure now than the United States. We've got it was one podcast, I forget who said it, but somebody said, and I'm paraphrasing here, that the United States is more or less now a semi-functional Latin American country. And it kind of makes sense, just looking at the corruption. I get that everybody looks at Latin America as a it is kind of a corrupt shithole. But I mean, look at just the amount of stuff over here about the emails coming up from, and it's tied to everybody. Sorry, I mean, I don't think the Dominican Republic's elites, I don't think they're building these sorts of things over there in the Dominican Republic, Little St. James Island. I mean, our elites are going over the Caribbean to go ahead and do all that. I mean, it's kind of awful. You know, and it's sad. You know, it's good for Latin America to go ahead and Dominican Republic building a monorail and everything else. While we're over here, just watching our country fall apart.
Which is crazy considering we're rapidly industrializing. And guess how many dollars that they just invested here in the Dominican Republic? $7 trillion. Like just industrializing alone. All those industrial parks.
How much? Hold on. How much is the Dominican Republic investing?
$7 in industrializing.
Seven what?
A lot.
Okay, hold on.
7 trillion.
10 trillion in U.S. dollars or in the currency in the Dominican Republic?
$7 trillion. It's $7 trillion in U.S. dollars.
Okay,
Which is
that's
crazy.
okay. So that would make sense. Yeah, it's. Oh man. Okay. I mean, I'd have to see that, but I mean, yeah, it's just crazy. And look, I believe it. Frank from accounting and Epstein files for some reason. Oh man.
I know, Frank. We can't believe it.
Yeah. There we are. At this point, guys, I think with everything happening now in the United States, I think Puxatawny Phil had it right. Declares martial law. There we go. That's it, folks. Puxatawny Phil is now the emperor of the United States. He'll get it all done, guys. There we go. It's
Demetrius, we got an entertaining meme. I believe.
Let's get Renell Reed in here. He's been trying to get in. Hopefully his Discord is working. Renell, you're there you go. Oh, and he disappeared. Okay, I don't know what's going on with Renell on his end. Anyway, okay. Let's see what we got here. Anything? Okay, here we are. I believe in train supremacy. Trains are the superior mode of transportation. Yes, they are. That's what the club is here for. Here we are. All right.
I don't
That
know.
is
Have you heard this thing? It's the newest fad that's hitting the nations.
All right. Let's see. Another meme that David said from Puxatawny Phil. I don't know. I saw my own channel and they took and threw me in jail. Relax, Phil. They got nothing on you. Spring is on March 20th regardless. Yeah, it's true. I mean, even past March, there's been times there's been some snow over here, like little flurries, or maybe you get like a half an inch of snow sometimes. It just happens in middle of March and sometimes April. So, I mean,
Yep.
not a big deal, guys. The weather is the weather. And you have these sorts of cycles that happen. So, yeah, look, for all the talk about, we talked about it last time, for all the talk about global warming, you would have thought that they would have been building nuclear. You would have thought that they would be building. By the way, another zero streams with the mention of reset the counter.
The
folks.
N-word.
We mentioned the
N-word. You know what the N-word is? It's no. It's the nuclear word.
There
He
we are. We should be
mentioned the
building
N-word,
again. There you go. By the way, all this the money being flowed into all these AI data centers. Again, all these same people are all in the files too. With Peter Thiel and
Yep.
all these guys are on the. So it's, again, this is all just a grift to go ahead and just keep using the United States coffers and our blood, our treasure, and our children, to keep using us as cattle for their means, and to keep stealing from the country when we could be actually building stuff. We could be building nuclear power plants. We can be building high-speed rail. We can be building beautiful homes again in our homes. We could be actually having consequences and law and order within cities again, so people don't have to go ahead and look around for peace and quiet around the United States to find out where else they can live and just keep suburbanizing the rest of the country because we can't live in the cities. It's it's just ridiculous that this just keeps happening on and on all over the place.
Yeah.
But we can have it all. We can have great roads. We can have good jobs. We can have families again in this country. But again, not the priority. Not the priority for these people in charge.
There was a
Yep.
major
What I said
thing that was
last
happening
time,
about a.
One at a
Like
time.
what I
Minor-
said last time,
Okay,
the-
one at a time. Minor Tree, go ahead.
There was a major thing that was happening a decade ago where there was different groups that were building out tiny houses where it's basically the size of only one room, but hey, you can put 10 of those on a 1 acre lot, and then you now have 10 college students or newlyweds that can actually get a start and actually start building wealth instead of saying, oh, we have to rent this house that we can barely afford for the next 20 years in order to buy our house, hopefully in our 40s, which
Yeah.
is the current situation.
Yeah, and that's just
Plus, it adds into the density.
it's terrible. The only thing the
cheap.
50-year
Some of these
mortgages are
houses are going
helping
for under 20
are
grand.
helping are the banks and the financial institutions to just add more speculation to the economy. That's it. It's not helping anybody to afford the homes. That's just going to keep the housing prices up because if you can afford a 50-year mortgage, that means you can afford, instead of $600,000 for a home that should actually be costing $150,000, well, maybe we'll charge you $800,000 for a 3-bedroom 2-bath home just because of the location. It's insane.
And depending on the terms of that agreement, it can be as low as 5% down. Whereas traditionally, 100 years ago, it's like you're going to put 50% down, but your terms are a 5-year mortgage, a 7-year mortgage, or a 10-year mortgage. And that was it. And you had to pay it back in full.
Yeah,
And
the
somehow
houses were
they
nowhere-
had...
Yeah.
Yeah, and
Speaking
somehow they were
of,
able to have a lower foreclosure rate than they do today, with much more stringent loan terms.
Yeah, and it doesn't help where I mean, just like looking at like the fraud in I was about to call it Somalia. At this point, it might as well be in Minnesota and in Minneapolis. I mean, the houses that are being put on these daycares as saying as that there's part of the daycares, and they're just basically McMansions. So they're using the money to go ahead and do. And this also happens, like, I don't know if you guys have seen like some videos of this, like in Nigeria, they're just building mansions from a lot of the fraud and scams that they've been able to run here in the United States. They're just building mansions in the middle of nowhere that are completely empty in Nigeria just from the amount of money that we have. Hold on, let me see if I can find that too. Just to
Don't
kind of showcase
disperse the name
this-
of Mogadishu.
Yeah. Oh man, but let me see. Let me see, because I saw it on YouTube. Let me see.
All right.
Yeah, there's like a whole bunch of empty houses or mansions that are just being built all over the place in Nigeria. Of all places. Let me see if I can find that in the meantime. But yeah, I mean, guys, again, this just all goes back to the same sort of thing that we've been talking about, is that this country has so much wealth here that it's unreal. It's just that we're being taken for a ride. And it's not a fun ride on a train. We're being taken away on a ride. Here we are. Let me see if I can share this on I just put it on, send it via Signal over here to myself, and then just open it here. But yeah, I mean, it's just nuts.
Demetrius,
Go ahead.
here's the thing, though. By the way, the United States is a rich country. Just it's not administered properly. That's the problem.
Yeah.
Also, I heard some talks that we're going to wrap up Warhead production, which is
You're gonna wrap up. Hold on. We could.
I got
hear you
it.
too well. It's your audio's kind of clipping in and out.
I'm saying. Okay. I was saying that we're going to produce world weapons. All the nuclear powers, UK, China, Russia, and yes, the United States. Ugh.
Yeah, I mean, if there's one silver
Uh,
lining here for the United States, at least we're not the UK. Here you go. I found the video on
Yeah.
Nigeria over here, so you guys can see. Yeah, it's obviously not stuff that they're building over in Nigeria, or you know, this is our money that's just being taken abroad and just being used by these guys. The same thing that's happening over with Snogadishu. With you know, it's just crazy. You know, this is the type of stuff. You know, again, houses are being built. Not so much in the United States. They're building mansions in the middle of nowhere. Like, look at, like, right outside of it. There's dirt roads. Like, they got all the infrastructure and electricity in these houses, but like the minute you go right outside the gate, it's a dirt road. It's insane. Look at this. It's just oh man. Oh man, this our country is just, we're just being cooked alive here. Just being taken for a ride.
No, Dimitri, let me be honest. The people who are doing it to our country, like I said in the last live stream, all of them need to be charged with treason, thrown in jail, and hung.
Yeah, that
They
would make
need
sense.
to be
Well, here's the
charged
thing,
with
David.
treason.
That would make sense, but that's not happening. That's the thing. Again, it's no consequences, no changes, because the whole point of treason is, you know, going against the nation. But the problem is, this is now embedded into the modern American bureaucratic system. They're all doing it, or the whole system is basically built to allow this sort of treason. So, I mean, yeah, the whole system itself is treasonous.
Work it out. Well, here, Jane, we can work it out. It'll probably take a couple of decades, but if we start now, we can work it out for the next couple of generations. You know, like it starts now. Like, we need to start cracking down on stuff like this and pointing out the bull crap.
Yeah, that's it. Look, at
We
the
need to start
very least,
saying,
yeah,
"Look,
we can just keep pointing it out, keep building our own thing, keep trying in our own neighborhoods, in our own neck of the woods, to try to just go ahead and build something or get something going within our own counties, our own towns, our own cities, maybe our own states. But we're not going to see a massive push from the federal government. That's not happening with our current federal government. That is never happening.
That's for. Also, we got some
but if it's but if it's not true, if we go for sedition, it's like, here's a sledgehammer. Now go outside and go break rocks all day.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure they wouldn't mind.
yeah, we have to be, again.
It's
we have to
good
be
exercise. They get fresh air.
Yeah, like what's going on in California, like the whole entire authority, and every single politician that has been involved with this, and in the audit, because there's names in these audits, and there's people involved. They should be the ones going out there and just being, you know what, you guys go ahead and build it. We're gonna, there you go, restart the chain gangs, but it's gonna be politicians, and rightfully so. That's what needs to be going on in building this. Okay, it's quite a, oh man, it's just a joke.
Well, don't forget the unelected bureaucracy. You can't forget them.
Yep.
Yeah.
Don't forget them either.
And the thing about California is that it is, it is a one-party state. You know, everybody's talking about, well, we can't have a one-party state. Well, the country basically in of itself is a one-party state. If you think about it, it's the Democrats and the neocons that have been in charge of this country since probably the death of JFK. That's who's been in charge of this. Maybe you can go back a little bit more than that. Maybe post World War II or since the FDR administration. That's what it's been since then. It's a one-party state. Okay, it's like, do we want a party, or do you want people in charge that don't care about this? Because you're gonna have somebody in charge, but there's a major difference between who was in charge before. Again, here our Cathedral of Learning, built by the Mellon family at the University of Pittsburgh. Okay, one of the most beautiful buildings built on any campus. Okay, I mean, look at this. It's incredible. What our leaked railroad bill or this. That's the issue. That's the problem. Okay, that's the issue that we're on here. Okay, so when it comes to a one party system, yeah, that's what it is, John Mark. Yeah, it's kind of sick what's going on, but I mean, it's just unreal. And what's happening in California, it's a blueprint for the rest of the nation. It's like, so goes California, so goes the nation. It's completely true. And this is what's going to happen. This is Democrats in charge. This is why it doesn't matter who's in charge. Yeah, Biden wasn't on, and we got a couple of $1 billion to Amtrak and to a couple of other rail projects, but not enough to really do much of anything else. I mean, it was more than what Obama gave, but not enough to really move the needle because it's not a priority. And we're still talking about the Gateway Project. I mean, now New York and New Jersey are suing the federal government of the withholding of funds to finish the Gateway Project, which hasn't even gotten really started. They've just still been pittering around over there. Again, another project that should have been built already 10 years ago that is still flipping about doing nothing. It just shows you what the priority is. And this was a country that the Hudson tunnels were built in 3 years. And the original tunnels were built in about the same amount of time. It was built in 3 years. And here we are, 10 years later since they started the Gateway Project, and we're still building it. We're still not even done. Again, it has nothing to do with the lack of technology in this country or the lack of, there's a lack of funding. I'm tired of hearing about the lack of funding. No, there isn't a lack of, there's a lack of funding because there's a lack of prioritization. That's the problem.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Do I need to set up a betting ring of who's going to be the next person to say lack of funding?
Please no. Please.
No.
Hey.
There is.
It's bad to gamble. It's not bad to be the one holding the bet.
Yeah. The lack of funding, the funding. You know where the funding is going? The funding is going to the consultants that are made here to never build anything. The funding is going to Leering centers, and it's just like the tip of the iceberg. I mean, I get it. It's funny, but that's not even. It's a tiny crumb of the fraud and theft that is going on in this country. Okay, it's going out to mansions in Nigeria. Where is that again? Here you are. There you are. There's your money, guys. There you go. Zoomers, millennials. There you go. The boomers' money has gone away over because they fell for Nigerian prince scam, or somebody's grandma thought that Brad Pitt was talking to them and he needed money for a surgery. AI Brad Pitt, who is actually Nigimbo from Nigeria. There you go. There you go. That's there. There you go. There's your money, folks. There you go. Gone. There you are. That's it. The money's gone, folks. Sorry. There's your funding.
Speaking of that, Dimitri, I got them good rail news now, and it's with R.J. Corman.
All right, hold on. Adam everywhere is on the stick. Guys, if you guys want to come in the audience, come on, and we'll go a little bit longer on this stream. Renell, if you want to just, I don't know what's going on with your Discord. You may need to, provided by the local Nigerian prince. Yeah. If you want to come on board, man, just go ahead and come on in. You may need to reinstall your Discord. I don't know what's going on your end. Darius, Starforce, John Mark, if you guys want to come on in, feel free to. But yeah. There we go. Okay, let's see what we got here. Let me see. Yeah, provided by the local Nigerian prince. Let me see. Anybody else has anything else to share here? Let me see. Getting bashed by rail fans for not being fully painted. First time. Oh man. Let me see.
I read in the live chat.
Okay, here the Pennsylvania. Here we are. Here we are. Pennsylvania investing more than $3 million in R.J. Corman Railroad project. Yeah, it's something. It's look. It's $3.005 million. We have to account for the $5,000 there. Remember, it's $3 million and $5,000. Yeah, we have to account for that. It's I have never seen it put that way over here. We've gone to the 100th place for the millions of dollars. That is the first time I've seen that.
God.
Oh boy, this is how strapped for funding we are. Again, it's not a funding issue; it's a priority issue. The company used the funding for its
Well, they
Lehigh
needed to
Tie
buy that
project.
good used car.
Yeah, $5,000.
They had to buy that used car.
Yeah, at this rate, it's an okay used car at this rate, because now even the prices of used cars are the average used car price now is what, over $30,000. It's gotten nuts. Let me see. I'll look that up in a bit. The company used the funding for its Lehigh Tie project in Bradford and Wyoming counties. Again, this is in Pennsylvania. Let me see. Rehabilitate approximately 22 miles of track along the Lehigh line, and work includes improvements to ties, ballast, and surfacing. Following the grant announcement, area lawmakers commented, "This short line railroad is a vital component for our local energy economy." Senator Lisa Baker said it supports area jobs, sustains product suppliers, and helps residents and commercial enterprises with their energy costs. These investments are crucial to keep the traffic moving at capacity and ensuring safety. Yeah, this is the thing what trains usually do that. Trains are the backbone of a modern economy, especially what should be a manufacturing powerhouse. That should be the United States, but we're not as much as we used to be anymore. But yeah, if we really wanted to really have a golden age of the economy, this is where most of the funding would start going into. This is where we would start putting in billions of dollars into this, trillions of dollars into this. That's what would be happening. I mean, like, you look at the site over here, there's some investment news. Connecticut DOT publishes $15.7 billion in capital plan. New Mexico House passes $1.5 billion transportation bonding package. Guys, it's not gonna, the federal government's not gonna do it. They have the big amount of big hands towards the coffers, but they're not gonna really be pushing anything. It's gonna be coming from the states and from the local counties. That's where it's gonna come from. So it gives us at least a little bit more power. It's like we're not trying to go ahead and go anywhere from the federal government. So it makes it easier on our end when we start thinking more locally. Let me see. Here you are, Darius, you're on.
All right.
Let me see. Yeah, the average price of a used car in the United States is $32,000 as of early 2026. So yeah, it's getting bad out there, guys. But yeah, you can still find some. You go on Facebook Marketplace. I mean, you can find some. Look, you have to settle with find like a used Toyota or a Honda. Maybe he's got a 150,000, 200. If you're lucky, less than 150,000 miles, but you're not getting anything less than 100,000. At that point, you're paying a good premium. But find something that's got 150,000, 250,000 miles, and as long as it's easy to service, like a Camry, Corolla, Accord, Civic, at the very least, you'll be fine.
Yeah, but if you find a Toyota truck, make sure it doesn't have any bullet holes in it and it was in the Middle East.
Yeah.
Otherwise, things might get a little interesting.
Yeah, it's got some. There's some bolts there. It looks like it was used to be used as a technical or something like that. I don't know why are these holes in the middle of the bed?
It's like that's where the heavy machine gun was placed.
All right, Darius, you're on. What's up, man?
Hey, you know how cold it got over here? The mornings are usually the cold where the low is at 35.
Yeah, I heard it was pretty cold over there, man. You guys,
I remember the last time it got down to 36.
You didn't get hit by any iguanas falling out of trees, did you?
Nope.
Iguana warning. Sorry, I had to do that.
We didn't get any power. We didn't get any pipe bursts or power outages.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. At that point, remember the ground has to be really cold for that to happen. It's not like in the Midwest where it's cold.
Infrastructure isn't really built. But however, knowing that the temperatures can and has gone down to below freezing or slightly below in Florida history, not to mention that we frequently go down to 40s and 50s, like at least 5 nights a year every winter, as we are going down right now into 43 tonight, which is not as cold. They knew
that's-
very well what Florida could expose to, but then again, there's aging infrastructure here.
Yeah, everywhere is it's aging everywhere. So I mean, like I said, look
but
at
it got
the
a D plus. The DOT said
And
D plus
there's 20,000
infrastructure. That's good enough.
people lost electricity in a time when they needed it the most.
I guess you got time for the generators.
yeah, I heard Tennessee
We
got
have to
really
remember that
hit
Florida
hard. That there
is
is
a borderline tropical climate.
yeah
Even though
Tennessee.
these
There's
things
some
happen
there's
50 years. Florida is nevertheless a borderline tropical climate. The infrastructures should know very well. Planners should know very well of the climate's extremes. Even though it's rare, it does happen.
yeah. And
It does
again,
happen,
it's just
especially Florida.
preparing for that and building out the next generation of infrastructure in order to counteract that. But yeah, in Florida, you guys are going to be okay. Now, I mean, Tennessee got hit pretty hard, and I got to see if I can find some footage of that. But especially in the Appalachian region, like close to where they got hit by the hurricane 2 years ago, which again, there's still places in Appalachian, in North and South Carolina and Tennessee that is still not recovered. You know, here we are, almost 2 years, and nothing is really.
Yep, almost.
They're still struggling over
And
there.
I'm saying cleanup is still happening. I'm saying it's basically a big mountainous region. They got to basically fix everything, repair the rails, all that stuff.
Yeah. Let me see if I
It's
can
still
find.
it's still ongoing.
Yeah. Let me see Tennessee. Let's see if I can find it on X over here. Winter storm damage. Let me see if I can find it. Let's see. Yeah, here you go.
Oh yeah, and also there were wind gusts of up to 40 miles an hour during the cold front. During that cold front, I could remember that very night that I can remember that night watching Raken and Bass's Jack Frost as I heard the winter winds howling on Groundhog Day. What a much more fitting Groundhog Day to watch it here.
Yeah, at least you guys you didn't get any
with
snow
all the
though.
winds howling. They were 40 miles an hour, and just a little poof, and some power lines go down.
Yeah. I mean, look at what happened in
Okay, now,
look at this. Nashville 16 degrees. Feels like 5. This is on January 27th. Power outage. More than 170,000 people without electricity in Tennessee. Look at these some of these places. The ice storm damage. I mean, it looks like this looks like Ukraine war footage. If you look at it, it's like the war footage you see out of Ukraine. With look at this. Like, trees are down. Homes are busted up. This is terrible. This is again supposedly a first world economy that can't even deal with a little bit of snow. Unreal. Just unreal. Power lines are down because they got iced out. All the ice now sticks over to the trees, onto the power lines, makes them heavy. They fall over. They break the power lines. Yeah, it's pretty terrible. Nearly 200,000 people.
That's pretty common.
Yeah.
That's pretty common for ice. Ice builds up.
Yeah. But then again, our power electric grid, most of it hasn't been really updated. The average age of the infrastructure in the United States for the electric grid is from 1975. We're in a bad situation, guys. It's not good.
That's over 50 years
Oh,
old.
come on. It's only 50 years old. Going on 51.
It's just 50
so
years old. Hey,
it's still...
they don't build it like they
I'm
used
saying-
to, right?
You gotta think a 50-year-old power line. I don't know how that's gonna hold up in next 50 years.
Yeah, it's not. I mean, we'll be talking about this. It'll be 10 years later, and we'll still be talking about hey, they haven't built anything since 1975. We'll still be at this. Let me see if I can find that the article for
That right.
viewers here for context. Let me see if I can find that. Electric grid. Let me see if I can find that. Oh, guys, yeah, this is pretty bad, guys. Here we go. What does it take to modernize the electric grid? Much of the U.S. electric grid was built in the 1960s and 70s. This is from the Department of Energy. This is not from any. This is the actual .gov. Here you go. Here you go. This is from October 19, 2023. This is even worse than the article that I looked at. There you go. This is from the Department of Energy. Yes, the U.S. Department of Energy. What does it take to modernize the U.S. electric grid? When a first world country is making articles like this from their blog, talking about this sort of stuff, we're kind of cooked. We're pretty cooked. Look at how the Grid Resilience and Innovation Partnerships Program selections will mean for more reliable electric service. Yeah, look at electric service that hasn't been, again, let's see. Much of the U.S. electric grid was built in the 1960s and 70s. Again, for example, 70% of transmission lines are over 25 years old and approaching the end of their typical 50 to 80 year life cycle. That is insane. That is insane. If most of them are approaching the 50, 80 year life cycle, and again, 70% over 25 years old,
Wow.
Imagine how much of that proportion of 70% is probably over 50 years old. We're probably talking about maybe 40 to 50% of it. This is insane. But hey,
But you have to
October
remember
18,
it runs on a computer.
Here we are. Announced
Yeah,
up
but
to
it runs on a computer system.
$3.5 billion for 58 projects across 44 states. That was their big deal. The big deal, the Department of Energy, the U.S. Department of Energy, announced $3.5 billion. But wait a second. Did we not just spend that amount on a certain outside nation in the last, week? This is from 2023. We just spent that already. That's nuts.
Yeah, but you have to remember, it's running off of a computer system, which is probably running Windows 3. If you're lucky.
If even, they're probably running DOS, which is why,
You're not going to cyber attack that.
Yeah. You can't even connect to the internet. That's one way to make it invulnerable.
Processor.
Yeah. But yeah, guys, this is oh man, here we go. That's bad.
When you talk
All right,
about
let's get Dump
transmission
Trucker on
lines.
board. Here we go. Let me see. Have the perfect gift. That's why electric cars. America needs to improve its infrastructure. Yeah. Yeah, there you go. It's like what's the point of having electric cars when we don't have an electric grid? Which is why China has gone now. They're. Let me see if I can find that. Just to showcase.
Well, here's
what's going
the thing.
on here.
You have to. I know Chinese has a robot that can control traffic.
Oh,
But here's the dumb part.
I've seen that.
They've never heard of a traffic light, apparently.
Yeah, and the driverless bots. It's just not even like cars. Like the little things that we have. Those little robots that transport food. Yeah, they have larger scale versions of those that are basically the size of an SUV in China.
Yeah. However,
China.
here's the downside. Now remember, China is cheap. That's what the C stands for. Cheap.
It's
That's why I'm always.
it's
If
working to an
anything
extent.
ever says made in China, I know in a couple months or in a year I'm gonna have to replace it
Yeah,
because it will not.
I mean, we're getting that bad in the U.S. as well. Like a lot of the stuff that I'm getting made in the USA. I try to get as much as I can, if there's even stuff available that's made in the USA. But even the quality in American-made stuff is also going down, and it's not good. Where we're paying a premium to have.
This is embarrassing.
Yeah, for stuff domestically produced, that I have to pay a premium on domestically produced goods,
Or something
and
that
it's
doesn't
still
even work as well as
lagging in
something made
quality.
in China.
Yeah. Which is why people's like, at this point, it's like,
Yeah,
I'm gonna buy something that's
I got it.
made out of
I
the
get
same
that
type
people
of
are gonna
steel
hate.
off of Amazon, and at this point, yeah. Why? So I can buy basically now the same thing, like an American drone with all this all this legislation against banning Chinese drones. It's like, yeah, we're doing the opposite. It's like,
The new ones, about the new ones coming in, about the FCC.
yeah,
about
here we go. Let me just put that out here.
that
Yeah,
is precisely the ban on import.
global electricity generation.
is.
Yeah, China is producing 33% of the world's electricity. Now, this graph is a little weird because 14%, and you can tell that this graph is AI generated. It's just weird. It's like, okay, this is an AI generated graph. It can't even get the little details right. But regardless, I mean,
Even some Florida
I
Even
gotta.
Republicans in Florida state legislature, when Ron DeSantis banned Chinese-made drones from being used in
Yeah,
state
because
and government
China.
agencies a few years, that there was not one accident with DJI drones. They know a lot of these Chinese companies that used to be known for cheap now are known for quantity and quality.
yeah, that's what happens when we've sold away, or not sold away, our manufacturing expertise and capacity was stolen by our own companies, so they could go ahead and make a quick buck off of China. Now, 20 years later, now like 30 years later, because at this point it's now 30 years more or less. Since the opening due to the World Trade Organization during the Clinton administration. So again, it doesn't matter who's in charge. It's all the same people at this point. But yeah, all that manufacturing prowess has basically now gone overseas. So we don't have anywhere near the capacity that we used to have before. I mean, look at the changes in the American economy, where it used to be mainly manufacturing based, and now we're a service-based economy where Walmart is the largest employer in a majority of the of states, and then you have healthcare following along, or university healthcare systems in most American states. It's appalling.
It is. Yeah.
It's crazy.
It's a mess.
We cannot live in Boomeritaville forever. We gotta start the manufacturing again.
Hold on. Wait a second.
You can try,
did
but the
somebody
problem you're
mention-
gonna face.
Born to be wild.
Yeah, he mentioned words.
Wasting away again in Margaritaville.
There you go.
Yes, I will again.
Oh man. All right. Well, speaking of drones, hold on, Darius, you may like this one. Here's it's in Dearborn, Michigan. Police have now launched a new drone program over here, where they have drones in different parts of the cities. Yeah.
I do have some good news coming out of Florida. DeSantis actually said no to data centers.
Yeah, that's at least good. Now, I don't know
good.
how reaching that will be, but that's at least something. Yeah, no, we got to do this the other way around. I mean, you cannot just go ahead and just start building data centers without the infrastructure to support them.
Yes, and with Florida's population of 23 million people and growing, you're going to want all the room you can get.
Yeah.
Skidio.
Yeah.
It might seem advanced, but not as much when it comes to DJI.
DJ, what?
Funny.
But I just like how their trains are so much better, so are their drones. But I can't understand that China being the manufacturing power, the economical powerhouse and a booming place they are, why they're actually. Some people are saying that they have a youth underemployment crisis there, like we have here.
Well,
Because no one wants to work in those kinds of work conditions. China's work conditions aren't very top notch.
Well, let me just say it, because of the one policy and not letting family grow. That's it. They got stunted. They kind of stunted themselves because of that.
We could have here in the United States. We could have even made Hialeah a manufacturing plant.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I went by. My mom said there were factories there. Yeah, filled by migrant workers who shouldn't be here. And a lot of them were also closed too. A lot of them were also closed too.
Yeah.
Mhm.
The Model T Ford was
yeah.
actually assembled with pride in Jacksonville and one of the many places that the Model T Ford was built.
Yep. The Model T
Mhm.
Ford was built. Ford was building in America until what, 1950s, 1960s, when they left all their Detroit plants.
1960 with the late 60s.
Late 60s is when they ended it. Wasn't that because the factories weren't in like the best condition in the entire world? Like they had pretty much neglected their factories in Detroit.
Well, digging into that was caused by greed and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
And you gotta think about that too.
And it's all
That's
about money. It's never about anything else but money. You ain't got money.
Yep.
Bad money.
Here's
That's
a
right.
reminder that Florida is kind of a manufacturing powerhouse, and we could still be.
Okay,
a
hold
tourist
on now.
destination.
Hold your horses there. Hold your horses there.
See, Florida,
Florida manufacturing
Florida-
powerhouse. It could be, but it's not, man. Hold your horses there. That belongs to the Midwest. Okay, that's sorry.
That
That's
belongs to
look,
the
as much as I love
well.
Florida. That's hold your horses, man. Hold your oranges and
And Georgia
pineapples.
actually more. They
Hold
don't
your
have to worry
iguanas.
about tourist beaches.
Yes.
Hold on.
Georgia's actually just as competent.
Yeah, here we go. Florida's
Look at all
only
the
Ford
Kia
factory.
factories
Only
there.
Ford factory. That's there you go. So not exactly, but that it's kind of sad. I mean, look, instead of building, more warehouses and a whole bunch of more suburbs or whatever, you can be building, better and more affordable apartments or homes in Miami. You can be reurbanizing and fixing all that stuff, and actually be building actual factories. And there's a couple of things that we can already give some. Hitachi was able to build their assembly plant in Western Dade County for the new Metro Rail system. So that's at least something. So there's availability to do that in Florida, which it would be great. Florida would make a perfect place to be a manufacturing powerhouse. There's less of weather you have to contend with. It's flatter land, easy access to the rest of the world,
Georgia's
and be able to
Georgia's
export.
actually better.
Yeah. But I mean, yeah, here historic
Georgia's
Ford.
actually better than Florida.
This has been June of 2023. Historic Ford Model T factory in Florida. It's a kind of tiny factory. I mean, you look at that. Will be demolished. The only
Okay,
Ford
look at
factory
their
ever
size
built in Florida, if officially a goner. I wonder how much was the how many Model Ts they actually manufactured over here. On the basis of a former shipyard manufactured the Model T before switching to the Model A. Reportedly, the only Ford plant operated in Florida. Continued producing vehicles until 1933 when the building switched to parts distribution. So there you go. It's interesting. All right.
It's interesting.
Oh,
but
for you.
maybe the property could be used
We
for
got
something
a
else.
Volvo plant. We got a BMW plant. We got 6 different car factories here in South Carolina. We got the Boeing plant here in South Carolina. We got a naval shipbuilding yard here in South Carolina. We also got 20 steel mills here in South Carolina, and yet they do make steel here in South Carolina. We do got a couple of steel mills. Meaning, yes, we do manufacture steel here in the Low Country. They don't talk about that. But also, I want to bring up as fun fact is that the first ever gold rush in U.S. history happened here in South Carolina back in the 1820s.
Yeah,
Well, yes.
interesting.
See, well, actually,
It was
so there has been. I saw this video. It was like a news story, but this guy in Pennsylvania found gold in his backyard, and the government went and took it all.
Oh wait, yeah, I know which one you're talking about. Yeah, that's kind of the most One of the top
have you
boomer
seen
things
that,
that happen.
last few
Yeah,
years
you
ago?
tell the government, oh, you got to do the right thing, and you got to tell the government. And then what the government do? Steal his gold. Steal his gold. By the way, the prices of gold and silver. Now's a good time to start getting in. By the way.
And how does that link back to David's point? It proves that they don't talk about this in history, but I think that the Appalachian Mountains, there's gold in the Appalachian Mountains.
But is
they
there?
weren't just mining
Hold on.
coal.
Wait a
I've actually
second.
heard that
They
the
were
prices
mining.
of gold
They
and silver
weren't
have
just.
actually
Wait,
started to drop a
They
little.
weren't just mining for coal. They were mining for gold.
Wait,
what's
were
the
they
possibility for that?
also mining for?
Schumer!
I just wanted an excuse to use that soundbite.
Go ahead.
Oh man.
Were they mining for Epstein files too? Maybe.
What is it?
Yeah, but we do have a gold mine.
Yeah, they're mining for the Epstein files. Yeah, you gotta keep working through them to get through all the redacteds in there. But yeah, hold on. There was a good post here from Amtrak. Let's some doom posting over here. Amtrak tweeted today at noon: "The unbridled greatness of trains will endure for 1,000,000 years." So, based
doom scrolling, that is.
Yeah. Amtrak tweets are always here to cure your doom posting. So there you go. That's at least Amtrak's Twitter account has been on a roll for the last year or so.
Oh yeah,
they've been on fire.
Oh yeah. Now let me be honest. There is a gold mine still open here in South Carolina called Hell's Gold Mine. That's the actual name of the gold mine here in South Carolina. And yes, they still mine gold.
Or is it actually an active mining site?
An actual functioning gold mine here in South Carolina. It's up in Castor,
gold
South Carolina.
Used to, and we can blame ourselves for that. However, they do put gold in like laptops.
No, yes, they do.
Yeah. Which and that's probably why the price of both those both of those are going to go up. That's without a doubt.
Because gold, I don't know why, but I guess it makes a very small amount of gold. But if you produce a lot of laptops per year, and probably electronic devices too, then yeah, you're going to need a lot of gold.
Yeah, Dimitri, guy, did I kind of blow your mind with that with the gold mine here in South Carolina?
Yeah, that's pretty interesting.
It is interesting, I can tell you that.
Yeah,
look it up. Look it up right now. Look up Hell Gold Mine, South Carolina. You'll see what I mean.
Hell's Gold Mine.
Like
I don't know gold mine production.
Well, gold's hard to come around these days since a lot of the mines have been closed up and shut down and are at risk for cave-ins. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked. Actually, I wouldn't be shocked if the mountains in California were to go down a couple feet because they mined out so many mines.
Well, look what
why is the mountain lower than it should be? Oh, that's because we put so many mines in it that it was literally being held up by wood supports, by trees. Probably. I don't know.
That's funny.
Yeah, it's just insane. I mean,
but
the amount of natural resources that we have here available in this country is just unmatched. We're not even using it to the peak.
Hey, did you watch the Facebook video that I sent earlier?
Which video?
There's a Facebook video I sent.
Let me see if I can. That will almost take a lot of. Oh man. Let's see. We're going. Let's get one of Adam. Hold on, Adam Everywhere's articles over here too. Amtrak fear competition may have torpedoed Metro North service to Albany. MTO CEO says. Let me put that up. I'm trying to look for the video over here. The video or the GIF.
I replied back to it.
Okay. There we are.
All right. I put the link to the gold mine I was talking about here in South Carolina in a live chat.
All right.
Chat. I did put the link to it. To
All right. Let's do one thing at a time. All right. Let's look at Adam Everywhere's article over here. That he had. Let me see. Amtrak fear competition might have torpedoed Metro North service to Albany, MTA CEO says. Lieber says agency remains interested in offering service north of Poughkeepsie. Yeah, there you are. Metro North Railroad to operate trains between Grand Central Terminal and Albany may have run aground because Amtrak feared competition from the Metropolitan Transit Authority, MTA CEO Janno Lieber said in an interview this week. You know, it's kind of weird that this whole dynamic is happening.
Which would be is like they need to team up with that. Say, okay, Amtrak, you'll run the express services, we'll run the locals.
Yeah, it's all about increasing capacity, and it's like we're not at the point yet that we're like, you know, in places in Europe like Spain or France or Italy where you can have multiple services running on the railroads. And the problem is that Amtrak does have ownership of the line.
It does have ownership of the line.
Yeah,
but it's part of a CSX.
Yeah, but and again, a lot of the problem is that these lines are still, you know, old. They haven't been really updated since the 1940s or 50s or 60s. I mean, some of them haven't even been updated since the 1910s and 20s, and even there's still some bridges that are dating back to the late 1800s. So you're dealing with a lot of old infrastructure that doesn't have anywhere near the capacity to be able to run the amount of trains needed to move this population back and forth between multiple places. And even if we were to be able to get everything running, again, you have all the right trains and all that sort of stuff, it's still the infrastructure itself, the rail line and the right-of-way itself does not have the capacity or the wherewithal available. We're talking about an infrastructure, we're on the bones of an old country here. But I mean, it would be nice to see more, if we could have the Northeast boosted up to the levels of, let's say, Japan or Europe or China or wherever you want to go ahead and say it.
Sadly, that's only
there's just too much to handle. I'm gonna call it a night. Good night, guys. I got work tomorrow.
All righty, see you, man.
Yeah, but I'm just gonna say this: it sounds great on paper, but the problem with the Northeast Corridor is that they designed it with too many turns.
Yeah, it was designed for different age of different.
They still
trains
have grade crossings on the Northeast Corridor.
There's some, but it's mostly like a high-speed line.
Yeah, it's not to say that it can't run. I mean, you can have slower trains or tilting train technology to be able to run across those lines.
Look at the northern. It's the northern part of the Northeast Corridor where they still have those railroad crossings.
Right. You still have a lot of bottlenecks in there because of a lot of the bridges or tunnels that all of a sudden you have 4 tracks across and now it's down to 2 or maybe even 1 because you're dealing with old infrastructure. Or it just hasn't been updated.
Because the Northeast is just built up so much, you really don't have the room to put a tunnel there.
Yeah.
There isn't much room there.
All right, let's bring in, because Reno Reeves has been having some issues on here, but he did comment on here. You have a monopoly, you can do whatever the heck you want when there's competition. Let's say Brightline would bring prices down. There weren't any cars in the 1800s, it was mainly horses. So if you had something like a Brightline running there, I mean, that's what's probably brought, can bring prices down. But again, it's allowing that sort of competition to happen. I mean, you have, like, where in Japan, like in Tokyo, you have multiple private and government-run companies running the metro systems, or different lines of different metro systems. Now, you can go with one card and be able to go ahead and transfer onto different systems depending on where you're going. But there's at least still competition, and everybody is still running on different lines. You can have that, but you have to have a built-up infrastructure to do that. Like the MTA used to be multiple different, like the IRT, the Interborough Rail Rapid Transit System, the Brooklyn Rapid Transit. They were different companies at that point, and then they all consolidated into one under the government run there as the MTA. Now, we could have something like that again, but I mean, that's going to cause a massive issue with the people we have in charge now. That's just not feasible.
And you have to remember this: if they're all separate companies and they're competing with one another, that creates a lot of just unorganized chaos.
Yeah.
Or maybe organized chaos. But see, I think it's great it's all one company because now you can easily manage your funding and manage how much one will get that much money. But the problem with the MTA is that that's a very old system they're running off of. And
Yep.
some of those, I mean, the signal system dates back to when the lines were first built.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's crazy how just far behind we are. I
They're
mean,
just sadly working with what they've got, and they
Yeah.
don't have much.
Hey, speaking of the MTA, there was a point in time in history where the stations on the subway actually did have bathrooms, but it was in a more civilized
They didn't-
time.
And they
but-
didn't flood. Hey,
Yeah.
just remember, they didn't have flooding issues.
Yeah, nothing kills me quite like knowing New York City subways used to have bathrooms in it. And I posted they upgraded to free range bathrooms. It got 369 Oh, I didn't even notice that. I just like posted that just as a joke,
Just
but
like look up.
Okay.
And literally,
Hey,
when it rains,
this
New
post is
Yorkers
making
don't
numbers,
care.
guys. We're getting there. We're getting there. Our club is getting there.
And guess what? New Yorkers don't care if a subway station's flooded. They're still going to go through it anyway.
There you are.
Oh.
All right.
I'll
Let's see if we
give
can
it
get
to
Renell
you.
Reed on here because I
was
know he's
the
itching to
one-
talk about. And let's talk about the monopolization of Amtrak. Come on, if he can get on here. Let's Renell Reed. Come on. Let's see if your Discord is working. Come on up. All right. All right. He's in. There you go. All right. You got to unmute your mic, man.
Yeah, we hear
yes, we
you.
can hear you.
We hear you, my friend.
Yes, we can hear you.
Check. 1, 2. We hear you.
I can't hear him still.
I hear him.
You hear him?
I can hear him.
Okay, hold on, because he's not going green on my end. Hold on, let me see. Okay, let me unmute. There we go. Hello, Renell, can you?
Okay, now you hear me.
Now it's working. There we go. All righty, awesome. What's up, man?
Okay, I really wanted to talk about. It's a little disappointing that the Metro North thing isn't happening to Albany. Like I said, I think I'd like to see like maybe a 3-way battle: Amtrak, Brightline, and Metro North to Albany. That would really bring Amtrak prices down.
Yeah, that would be good.
I
I mean,
mean,
that would be
I-
interesting
I-
to see. And
it-
yeah, the thing about Amtrak pricing is it is a little much. On some of the pricing on Amtrak, as much as they're doing better nowadays, it is a little weird that some of these tickets cost on like coach it's like $200 or whatever for something that would be $49.
Like round trip.
40 miles.
Yeah, and it's a little off. Especially trying to compete with the airline prices. I mean, but again, the issue comes to capacity,
Right.
speed, and in a lot of places, Amtrak doesn't either have the capacity because they're running 3 trains a week in some places, if even any, and B,
Like a Cardinal.
yeah, and they don't even
yeah.
have the speed to compete with not even a bus. So that's kind of the issue. Whereas in other
You're right.
places, the train is always going to be the better option because it's going to be faster point to point than any of those options between 300 and 500 miles.
Because they do have a monopoly in some places.
Mhm.
Yeah, on the corridor that I ride that corridor quite a bit. I'd like to see it. Brightline, all 3 of them battle it out.
Well, in Italy, they have multiple companies, including some high-speed train
Competing.
companies that run actual economy cars only, and those add additional demand, which basically lowers prices for all the trains
Okay,
running. So
Let's
that
think
just
about
adds to
something.
Amtrak doesn't
Think
want
about-
to do that. They don't want to lower prices. They don't want to have
They
competition.
don't want competition.
They don't. Oh, speaking of that, can I say what I'm about to say? I sent the link to the gold mine that I talked about here in South Carolina in the live chat. It's right there below the truck meet.
Right
I mean,
above
meme you said, Minor.
ARC's post about the bathrooms thing. Also, I see what John Mark put down too. That's interesting that Trump is putting his name on a lot of things, but
Oh man, yeah.
I
well,
find it a
it's-
little crazy. I think if they were to do that, then you might as well. Well, actually, MSG should be relocated anyway. Go somewhere where they can make a bigger stadium.
Yeah. Sorry. This is
Then
just
you
this is
can
just
like,
wishful
or
thinking.
hear
There's
me
not
out.
going to be
Hear
a
me
Trump
out.
train. There's not going to be a Trump station. It's just
Oh, hear
I
me
get
out.
it. It'd
Actually,
be
even
nice,
better
but
idea.
it's just wishful thinking. I mean, like I see posts like this, and it's true. Release Epstein files, arrest no one, expose Somalian fraud, arrest no one, send Tom into Minneapolis, soften deportation. Trump is just cooked. Yeah, we are going to effing do nothing. That's kind of what this whole administration is. I don't see him doing it. Is it possible? Yeah, maybe a point. What? Point zero. We'll do what they did in Pennsylvania. 0.005%. 3.005%. Just got to get that in there. But yeah, I mean, that's not happening. I mean, heck, we can't even get the gateway going. I mean, what's the whole point of making a brand new an improved Penn Station to rival that of the old Penn Station if we don't even have the increased capacity due to the crappy tunnels?
I'm saying, but the construction elements are there. It's just buried.
Yeah. It's not going anywhere. Even like everybody in the comments, if we just tell Trump they'll be named after him, we can get a base on Moon and Mars, metro systems, and beautiful architecture. We have to appeal to his ego to get this to get things built. Is that what we have to do now?
Well, it's proven to work.
I'm saying we do have options.
Oh man, I mean, it's wishful thinking. I wish it happened, but I doubt it's gonna happen.
Okay, what was that? Oh, yes. No, what they need to do with Penn Station is just get rid of the old New Jersey Transit Station. Why isn't New Jersey Transit at the new terminal?
I know. I mean, hey, at least they have it over down at WTC.
They're connected. They're pretty much connected, aren't they?
It's all about the track layout.
You have to go down to the World Trade Center
that's
station and then take the transfer up to get to Penn Station. But yeah, they're not really connected there. It's kind of a mess.
Yeah, the track layout at Penn Station is kind of mess.
We will down the.
Eva.
Oh, sorry, that's my wife Val would talk. But yeah, it almost 10:30. We should be getting ready to call it a night.
Yeah,
You know,
we'll close this out at 10:30, guys. So.
Yeah, I need to go to bed. So
yeah,
you have a good night. Please watch my video. Did you watch the video from Facebook?
Okay, here we go. Let's watch Dump Trucker's video here from Facebook. Let's go ahead and put this on here. This thing has so many tabs in it; it's about to burst.
It's a quick little one, but it's kind of funny.
Let me see.
Well, close out the old tabs once you use them.
There we are. All right, here we are. Let me play this here.
Patience, because if you give me strength, I'm going to need bail money. God, please give me patience, because if you give me strength, I'm going to need bail money.
Oh man.
Give me
That's
patience,
every
or I
night,
need
guys.
bail
Yeah,
money.
we gotta,
Give me patience.
Okay.
Give me patience, and if you don't, and if I get strength instead, I'm gonna need bail money.
Oh man. Let me see.
Gonna feel it.
Here, let's close out some of these
No,
tabs
you
over
need
here.
you need that friend who you can call that will bring you the bail money.
Yeah, yeah, that hopefully. But you know how the design police
You gotta get it from the
area?
payday loans. You can look it up. The
Here,
locations up on
you
Peace and
always-
Quiet.
Well, either he brings you the bail money or he's sitting right next to you going, damn, that was a good time.
Oh man.
So you'll always know you're next to a police station with a jail or a prison in it, because you'll see a bar, you'll see the police station, then you'll see a bail bonds. You'll see a bail bonds
Right across
business.
the street, yeah. And then there's a liquor store right there. Hey, there you go.
We're
all in
all
one.
just on the same
Easy.
street.
You got
It'd
to
all
love
be on the
convenience.
Well, they know their clientele.
Yes, they do.
Yeah.
I'm just sitting there waiting for someone to get drunk. All right, jail time.
Okay.
Bonds right across the street.
Here, last thing. Speaking of here's Chicago, by the way. Let's see. It's
But that's pretty
negative.
good thing.
Yeah, it's freezing within the trains themselves on the L, and it's just people asleep. Look at it. It's this looks like a dystopian movie over here. This is just, it's like out of Snowpiercer or something. This is terrible. Awful. Absolutely awful. This is America's second city, guys. The Chicago, which honestly Chicago has a better looking architecture than New York City. I'll give them that. It is a beautiful city to look at, but I mean this is
It is a beautiful city.
This is awful. This is why I hate going on the L. Which it should be a cool and fun experience to go on the L, but this is why most people just avoid it. Why don't people go on mass transit? I don't know, because it looks like you're about to get into a random encounter over here, between again, this is just terrible. This should not be America.
It is.
Hey, I say CT is not as bad as Metro.
Oh man, yeah, Metro is like Tri-Rail, but it fills the wilderness from RuneScape.
Mhm.
So the wildy.
Like, the problem is that Chicago has neglected its public transit.
Oh yeah, that's
And they
true.
only care about the roads. Public transit is like the little program that just gets whatever they have for excess.
Yeah, it's sad.
Chicago might as well at this point ditch public transit because they're not even going to take care of it.
Oh man.
Being that
alrighty.
What happened to the
Let's see.
London?
Two more minutes. 10:30. You got
I'm
time.
gonna.
My
Yeah,
weekend I
but
it's super funny.
All right. We'll
But
see.
Dimitri, look at the meme I just sent. It's super funny.
All right.
Yeah.
No zoomy on the slicky slick, or you go boomy into the ditchy ditch and have to wait for the toey toe in the cold snowy snow. There you go. Let's make it as
Where did you
simple
get
as we
that from?
can for people because they can't even remember that. I'm still. Hold on. Wait. Where's Dang it! Where did I have it? I closed out all the tabs and even closed out all those tabs to the cars in the snow. Oh man, yeah. There was a guy driving a Corvette C8, a C8 in the snow. It's like, really, of all the times you want to take your Corvette out into the snow, you want to take it out now? Now?
It's like-
Can I just be sitting on the side of the road just laughing at him as
Oh
he
man, no,
goes
and,
over cars?
and then the cops have to waste their time, to go ahead and get this guy out of the snow when they could be doing something else that more useful, for the public. But yeah, this is the time. Look at this. Here we are. Yeah, this is just insane. Oh man.
I'm gonna leave you off with some comedy and
Okay.
some shocking, some comedy.
We have to end all our streams with something from India. No, we're gonna. All right.
No.
Well, all right. Let's let it. Let's see.
Well,
Oh boy. Wait. Which one are we playing here? Dump Joker, pick one. It's 10:30. We gotta pick one.
There's a few. Do the Darth Vader if he had an Indian accent.
All right, Darth Vader, if you had an Indian accent, here we go.
Vader, this is an unexpected pleasure. We're honored by your presence.
Ah,
You may
great.
dispense with a horseshit, Commander. I'm
Michael
here
was
to
in for your
put you
heroics
back
in
on
the
schedule.
background.
I assure you, Lord Vader, my men are working as fast as they can.
Perhaps I can find new ways to motivate them. Give
Oh,
card,
no.
baby.
I tell you, this station will be operational.
Oh yeah. Do you know what's going to
The
happen?
Emperor does not share your optimistic appraisal of the situation,
Oh,
white man.
that's
But
funny.
he asked the
That is
impossible.
funny.
I need your men.
Then perhaps you can tell him when he arrives.
I am making me laugh.
That is correct, Commander.
That is
And
correct,
he is most
Commander.
displeased with your apparent lack of
Commander.
We shall double our efforts.
We're going to.
I hope so,
Of course,
Commander.
Seymour.
Oh man.
We're going
You
to.
want to take a ticket?
Just one accent change, and it changes the whole
We're
thing
going to
from
blend them with
menacing to
credit
an absolute
cards.
joke, and like everybody just giggles around. Oh man.
Hey, we're going to bribe them with credit cards.
I would
Hey,
have
guy,
to
what-
troubleshoot.
The Emperor is
Hey.
demanding your Google gift card. Do not redeem, sir. Now,
Take
if you could open up your bank account for the Emperor.
Hello, I am
That's
your
exactly
rich
what it sounds
cousin
like.
from overseas. I have 3 million, but I need information from you.
Alrighty, guys. Here we are. Well, speaking of here we are. This
Yeah,
this,
I
this
got
also
three
scares
credit
Indians
cards
as well.
going with one.
The apex predator of the Indian of the continent of the subcontinent of South Asia. That's the sound of the apex predator there. There we go. Alrighty, so we're at 10:32, folks. We're gonna go ahead and end it here. But yeah, what's the plan? Go work out, go lift, watch out for your family, get yourself as financially stable as possible, and work in your own town, your state, your county. Get as many rail projects and transit projects as available as we can, because we're not getting anything from the federal government. They don't care and they don't want it. So
The
there we
federal
go.
government has never cared.
Yep, that's just all it is, folks. There's no plan. Nobody is coming. No politicians coming to save us. So we got to do it ourselves. Alrighty, folks. We'll end it over here. Thank you all for riding on board on
It's up
this.
to us.
This wild stream of the American Rail Club. We hope to see you all next time on board. Godspeed and stay safe out there, please. Please stay safe out there. We will see you all next time. Take care and Godspeed.
Good night.
Bye, guys. Stay safe out there.
Goodbye.